happen to just catch on fire in the middle of this podcast, if I just erupt into flames like a human torch that does burn, do me a favor and don't put me out, because
That's so the ninjas can't catch you, right?
yes. Welcome back, everybody, to the RageSelect podcast. Here, RageSelect. I'm Jeff,
And I'm Mike.
I'm my rage is it knows no bounds. So I accidentally updated my Adobe Premiere. My Adobe Premiere was lucky, Michael. My Adobe Premiere was living in 2024. It didn't know anything about all this.
No.
It was like, you know,
It was very ignorant to the ways of the
February
world.
of 2024. There was no AI. A lot of people still had their jobs. Like, it was, you
Yeah.
know, the wars, they weren't here. Man, my Adobe Premiere was living sweet. And then I accidentally hit the button that said update, and they were like, and now it doesn't work. And I have to assume it's just because it's so depressed of the state of the world that
yeah.
it's living in now.
It was like, we're doing what now?
I opened it up and it saw the internet, and it was like, oh, I don't work anymore. I refuse. I'm going on strike. And I'm like, you know what, Adobe Premiere, me too.
It half almost went AI took my job.
Yep.
Which is twice as funny.
Yep.
Considering.
God damn. Anyway, that happened right before we got started. So I have to
Yes,
Taylor
he's-
Swift shake it off a little bit, because
He's a little on edge. Just a little bit.
it sucks when the thing that you know, like 1/3 that I use for 1/3 of my job just doesn't work. It's like, you know, half this operation is my voice and the other
Yeah.
half is Adobe Premiere, and now Adobe Premiere is like, I'm sad. So I don't know. I'm gonna take it out, get it wasted. We'll figure it out. I'll get it a hooker or something, get some blow. I don't
Before
know
the comments mention it, I'm sure there's some sort of free whatever
Yeah.
that can kind of work.
Yeah, because that's what I want to do, is relearn my entire workflow on a Thursday.
That's why I said kind of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's no guarantee that that's not going to stop working at some point. I'm just like, fuck's sake. So,
True.
anyway, enough of that. Let's get that Adobe. Get out of here, Adobe. I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Damn it.
You get out of here. You got a very weird week of news. There was a lot that happened. And you know what? It's Michael's week. Last week was my birthday.
Yeah.
This week is Michael's week. I got like 5 Dragon Ball trailers for you to just talk about. I'm just going to put the microphone down and go to the bathroom while you're doing that. I'm going to go outside. I'll take a walk. You text me when you're done, and I'll come back.
I probably could too, considering.
Yeah. But before we get to that, I finished watching the Invincible this week.
Yes, Invincible season ended as of yesterday.
Yeah. Wow, what a season. It was weird because I was like, what happened last season? I started looking at them, I'm like, this is only season 4.
Yes.
And there's only like 12 episodes a season, so it's not like
It's like 10 or so, actually. Something like that.
It's like, how are we here? It seems like, because there was the first season, and then it was like 1,000,000 years. It was like 1,000,000 years we all went into cryostasis, and then like half the season 2 came out, and it was like, oh, well, this is kind of a boring-ish arc. And then the back half of season 2 came out. It's like, okay, well, that was good.
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure out, like, what the fuck happened during season 3? It was like fucking around.
It was the multiverse
Onslaught
thing, yeah.
Well, multiverse was 2. That was when all the guys came, was in 2, and 3 was like the fallout from that.
Well, yeah.
Starting the company.
3 still happened with it, yeah.
There was the Sequid invasion and a few different things. Anyway, I was trying to think back. I was like, what happened in season 3 that was not Onslaught? Conquest.
Conquest and the Invincible War, as it's called.
Yeah.
Which was when all the other Invincibles...
That was 2, though.
No, that happens just before Conquest appears. That's why there's no heroes to help him fight Conquest.
Oh, did that? So wait, what the fuck happened in season 2 of Invincible?
Season 2 is when he fights the actual guy and then accidentally quote unquote kills him.
Oh,
and then he's saved.
Oh, okay. I thought that happened at the end of that arc. So
no,
I
it
just
happens.
got
No, that
things,
happens. Yeah, the first time he gets confronted by Armstrong, I think his name's Armstrong.
Yeah,
is in season 2.
Anyway.
And then he comes back for revenge, and he brings the Invincible Army with him in season 3.
Okay, all right. Well, yep, got that
Because he
all.
assumed he was dead.
All out of order. All out of order. Anyway, great stuff. Season 4, awesome. It was like space. Fucking Superman war in space and shit.
Yeah.
And there's Alan the alien, and they got a bunch of new people, and it's great. And man, them stakes, they got so much higher than before.
Yeah, the Viltrumite War is probably my favorite arc of the entire thing.
Yeah.
Because it feels like any other show would have made this like the final thing. Because in the comic, it felt like this would be this could be like a big final thing.
Yeah.
And then the way it ends is so like, what do we do from here?
Yeah.
Type thing. And you'd be surprised that the comic goes, I don't know either. Because it never really goes that high again until eventually it kind of does. But even then, it goes in very strange places.
Okay.
Is really the only thing I can say about it.
Sure.
But it's such a great ending to an arc. In fact, I ended up watching some of the, because I've already read the comics. I already know how some of that ends.
Yeah.
So they changed some stuff around of how that sequence plays into it.
Uh-huh.
But I'll never forget the way the comic ends, where Mark's head just goes down and goes, yeah, basically. He just goes, I accept, basically. Like, that's just like, what else do you do? And it's fantastic. And that's how I was like, I bet you that's how that season ends. And it was close. Yeah. It was very close. But
I swear to God, there's
that whole story is incredible.
There was a big fight that happened before a bit of a lull.
Yeah.
That like in that show, it took like 20 minutes or whatever, and I was watching it, and like as it kept going on, eventually I was on my feet pacing because I couldn't just watch it. I was like, oh my God, what the fuck? And it just kept going and going and going, and I was like, I really thought I knew what Invincible's level of violence was all about, and no, I was not ready for what happened.
No,
there. I was just like, holy fucking shit.
The Viltrumite War has, I think, some of the most bloody sequences of the entire thing, not count, like at least up to that point, because there are some scenes that happen that are even more graphic in the comic that made me be like, oh, I shouldn't have eaten today type of thing.
Yeah.
Especially not Italian type of thing. And so all that stuff happens, and then there's this one specific character, because I don't want to spoil it for everybody, but the internet was kind of being like, well, I don't see what the big deal is.
Oh, right.
And then...
oh, I see what the big deal is.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, I was not... don't kill me, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I remember that, like, there's always those memes where it's like the apology form to whatever the thing is. There's a bunch of those going around. I apologize to this person.
It was great. It was absolutely fantastic.
It's incredible.
And then I went back because also The Boys started back up, and The Boys is, I mean, I'm just watching it to finish it at this point. Like,
this is the final season.
It's kind of gone off the rails. I mean, it's so far from where the comic book was at this point that, like,
for the most part, for not bad reasons.
Yeah,
because the comic is pretty stupid.
Yeah. I also went back and I started watching that Gen V season 2, and I went back and finished watching that. And it's like a real CW version of The Boys with still a lot of like nudity and grossness and blood and stuff.
Yeah, the downside about that show is that the show is clearly going to go in a specific direction. Yeah, and then the actor went up and died.
Oh well, yeah.
And they're like, oh, we can't really do what we were going to do anymore.
Yeah. Anyway, Invincible, number 1. If you're sleeping on Invincible, wake up and go fucking turn on Invincible and watch it. I think you could probably... the only thing I haven't seen is the Adam Eve one-off episode.
And I think it's really good. It's also really good.
Which has got really good reviews.
It's got some of the best fight scenes that they've ever do with Eve ever, to the point where you're like, why aren't you doing this in the show? Because she does some cool shit in that. You're like, I've never seen you do this ever again. Yeah. And you could have killed so many characters with this thing. Yeah. And you just didn't do it.
But yeah, no, it's really good. If you're sitting there and Amazon is recommending The Boys and Invincible to you, watch Invincible. Not that The Boys doesn't have a certain level of, I don't know, man. I'll watch color urban chew up scenery anywhere and everywhere.
Well, the main difference is that Invincible's a world where superheroes aren't bad. They're just they live in a very fucked up universe. Yeah, that's the difference. Whereas The Boys is just like everyone sucks. Yeah, except for maybe Huey.
Sometimes,
and that's a maybe.
Yeah, and again, it has also just gone so far off of where the comics were. Like, so just for anybody who doesn't know, because I have read the comic books and I do like them. There's a lot of people that are like, it's mean, and I'm like, yes, and I liked that. I read Garth Ennis comics. Yes. I know they're mean, motherfucker.
It's very. If you've read Garth Ennis, then you'll be fine. Yeah, is what I will say about The Boys. I read
the Authority Kev and the sequel. Like,
I read all of his Punisher stuff, and I loved all of it. And it is just as mean.
Yep. In that book, Homelander doesn't barely talk at all.
Yeah.
Like for the most part, he's mostly just in the background until I think the very end. And in this one, he's such a fucking character the entire time that it really just shoots things off in this very weird direction. So.
Well, he's also like clearly like making fun of very specific things.
Yeah.
And then my favorite thing is that they're like, we really wish we could have written this after the election because all of our writing doesn't match the real world now.
Right. Yeah.
Like the craziest thing we could come up with keeps happening. And it's like, I don't know what else to do with that.
Yeah.
And I feel very bad for those writers.
Yep. Anyway, that was me. That was what I watched. Also played a whole shitload of Pragmata. That game is good.
That's good to know,
though. That game is good.
I've been wanting to get it.
I'll tell everybody, you know when you play a game where the game gives you something fun like every 20 minutes, but then keeps upping the difficulty to, here's a gun that's way better than whatever you had. And you get to enjoy it for about 5 minutes before this new enemy type comes out that is even more difficult than before. It's one of those, and I love it when games do that because it just keeps It's always giving me new toys to play with, and then something new to challenge me.
It keeps you on your toes, but in a good way.
Yeah. How about you? I feel like I've discussed every fucking thing I've done. What have you been up to?
I finally started Daredevil Born Again season 2.
Oh, okay. I didn't watch season 1.
And I'm liking it I'm actually liking it more than I liked season 1. And part of it is because season 1 was reworked because originally it was going to have a different showrunner and a different full plot, actually.
Yeah.
And they weren't going to bring back anyone. Like, that was one of the things about the original version of season 1. They're like, well, we're not going to bring back Karen or Foggy or anybody. It's just going to be Matt Murdock and everyone else died off screen or some shit. Like, something insane like that. And you're just like, we're going to recast Vanessa. You're like, okay, what the fuck? What are you guys doing? To the point where the actor for Frank Castle's like, I don't want to do any of this. Like, this sounds stupid. And so Kevin Feige's like, I'm firing everyone. And we're starting over. And so the next people were finally like, we're gonna make the Netflix show canon to what we're doing, because that was the thing that the other guys weren't going to do either.
Right.
It's like, this is going to be a continuation of the Netflix show. So if you watch the Netflix show, it's an even better show because it goes back to stuff that happened in that.
Is the She-Hulk one canon in there too?
I'm guessing, but they never really bring her up.
Okay.
Type of thing, because it's one of the shows where they still don't say people's names for some reason.
Okay.
They still they still say stuff like with a wall crawler, for instance,
right,
type of thing. And you're like, just say fucking Spider-Man, the Avengers, man. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Just say Captain America. Nobody fucking cares.
Yeah.
And so, but I'm sure there's a rights issue with the Spider-Man thing or something. And so, but in the first season, it's like, it's clear there's a lot of like misdirection tone here and there because
it's a little scattered,
because they had filmed some stuff and they were like, well, we gotta like reuse some of this so we don't just fucking waste money. And so and then eventually ramps up from there. And season 1 also has the same problem a lot of shows do, even the Netflix shows do, where they're just like, well, you'll get to Daredevil eventually, type of thing. I'm like, I can stop doing that shit,
right?
To me, type of thing. And then season 2 is just like, fuck it, Daredevil all day, every day. And I'm like, okay, thank you. And so it's like, it's directly after season 1. There's this whole thing with Mayor Fisk, martial law, him getting away with a bunch of shit. And there's some like
the No Man's Land, yes.
It's very close to the last story they did with him. I forget the name of it, but it was this thing where he put martial law and he outlaws vigilantes, because that's kind of what he's doing.
Okay.
He has a task force, an anti-vigilante task force that are basically just ICE. Like, they don't. The writers are like, I know it's the same joke I told you about Miles P.I.
Right.
I know writers who use subtext and they're cowards.
Right.
And that's what the show is doing, to the point where my girlfriend was just like, like, this is making me uncomfortable. I'm like, yeah, I think that's the point.
Well, also, I don't know.
Yeah.
Mayor Fisk outlaws vigilantes. I think that there's another hero that you forgot to ask about this plot line. Like, I would just assume that you'd be seeing Spider-Man all day, every day, if that was the case. Like,
that's the problem. That's always my problem with shows like this, and even comic storylines that do stuff like this.
Yeah,
they're like, we're doing everything involving New York. It's like, but what about the Fantastic Four and the X-Men and
Punisher
and everyone else? It's like, oh. Well, it's only about these three guys over here.
What about
at least the Punisher's mentioned in this thing?
Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and Iron Fist.
You're just sitting there going, where are these motherfuckers?
Right.
And so
Sigourney Weaver. I think she died in the Netflix show, but
I think so. But there's so much happening that but I like it a lot for what it is. but it's clear that they're still not able to do as much as they kind of wish they could.
Okay.
Because their budget just isn't going to be, allowing for walking up to Sony going, here's the big bag of money to let us use Spider-Man, or here's the big bag of money that we would have used to animate a Spider-Man CGI in this show.
Fucker, this is like Fallout New Vegas 2. You're all owned by the same bullshit. Just fucking do it, man. Just fucking do it.
It's very frustrating,
it's on Disney Plus, for God's sake. Put Spider-Man in it.
Yeah. So overall, I think it's a pretty good season. It's the season hasn't ended yet. There's still like three episodes left to it, so it could go anywhere. It's also one of the more violent things Marvel's allowed to do. Yeah. Because there's a lot of like people getting shot. There's a point where he, especially in the first episode, he grabs somebody and like pulls their arm down, and there's just this big crack, and you can see the innards of that guy's arm for a quick second. Okay. And so I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. And like, and some of the other stuff is more like off camera, where you can hear like stuff and the guy like falls off camera. Okay. So you're like, okay, so that's still pretty bloody.
What is natural hacking? My torso? Yeah. It is my torso.
And there's a death that's super brutal in season 1. Yeah. And I really like that, like as brutal as the way the Netflix show did. Okay. But the other issue I have with season 2 is Frank just isn't there, because he's in season 1 and then he's just not in season 2. Yeah, and because he's getting his own TV special in May, so it's very strange. But outside of that,
that's got really high ratings on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah,
so
it's really good.
Look at, so.
Other than that, I've been playing a lot of Mouse PI, which is also another. I know people who use subtext in their cowards type game. Sure. And it's got almost a similar vibe with the whole like people getting rounded up by. Mm-hmm. Corrupt police officials. Yeah,
and stuff I think I probably played about a third of that game. I don't even know how long it is.
I don't know how long it is either. I don't even know how far I am in, but I've done so much in that game.
There's a lot of empty weapon slots left. Yes, I was like, I'm going to take a break from this one.
There's so many empty weapon slots, and I've already upgraded some of the guns to their highest, and I'm like, what else do I need from here? Yeah, but I'm really enjoying it quite a bit.
Okay. Well, speaking of things that people might enjoy a bit, they finally revealed Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. So, I don't know, Michael, did you get a chance to watch this before we started?
I saw the trailer.
So. Okay.
That was the only thing I got to watch.
Well, then you missed like 20 minutes of the voice actor of Edward Kenway fucking blathering on about how some characters stick with you and people really like this and it's their favorite game and yada, 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 yada. So yeah, Black Flag. We're out of ideas. Assassin's Creed is floundering. We couldn't even make ninjas a thing, and so we're gonna remake one of the ones that people liked.
This was actually legitimately the last Assassin's Creed I played all the way through. Yeah, that's how little I cared about Assassin's Creed after 4.
Yeah, I think I did play Syndicate. Came after this.
No, it was Unity after this.
Was Syndicate before this? No, because Syndicate had to come after this.
Because what it was is this, and then it's Unity, and what was the other?
Rogue,
Unity, and Rogue, because Rogue actually takes place before Unity technically in the story.
So did Syndicate come after Unity?
Yeah, after Unity, Syndicate, because Unity was the first PS4 proper Assassin's Creed game.
Oh right,
because Assassin's Creed 4 was on both PS3 and PS4.
Yeah. So yeah, they talked a little bit. I don't know. There's a few specifics here. I can basically tell you, like, they've added some subquests. They've added some new folks to get on your boat with you, and some new quests with some of the existing people. They talked about how they've reworked all of the modern day stuff. They didn't say it was gone. They just said they've reworked it to focus more on the character, and then I think less on the weird. Oh, there's a mystery with the fucking an Abstergo that you have to solve.
You were also like a very first person, like you're a game developer or something like that. I think was what that one was.
And outside of that, I was trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, they said they've reworked the combat a little bit, but it's definitely not the RPG combat of the other ones.
Oh, okay,
so it's still kind of a real time parry and riposte type of thing. They also made a very specific note that like, if you're doing a following and listening to somebody mission and you fuck up, it doesn't end the mission. Oh. Apparently this was a problem in the other one. I don't remember this game in that much detail in order to know.
Well, that was a problem with all Assassin's Creeds. Yeah. Like, at least the early ones, you would be like, you got to follow this guy. And took one wrong turn and you were just fucked.
Yeah. And apparently just, overall rework the controls. It's all being done in their fucking Snowdrop engine, so I'm sure this is the same thing that they used for the ninja one. Whatever, I forgot.
Yeah, Ninja Time they called it.
I don't know.
Shadows, I think was the name of it.
Shadows, yeah. Outside of that, I didn't hear anything about the multiplayer, about the online multiplayer mode. Also, I'm going to tell you right now that they showed a lot of footage, and it was a very uneven frame rate throughout.
Yes.
So I don't like very much at all.
I'm hoping that's something that's just early, or not early, but you know what I mean. Like, they're just polishing.
I hope
by the time
so.
it comes out, day one patches and stuff.
It definitely looks. I mean, it looks like an update of Black Flag. I don't know. That's pretty much it. There was a lot of other. Were you on when we talked about there was like a retailer that had a statue of Edward Kenway?
Yeah, that's how we found out. Or not how we found out, because we all knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, there were so many leaks
but
on this motherfucker.
That was the closest thing to an official confirmation we ever got was that specific little
That's
statue.
in the collector's edition.
Yeah, which that makes sense then, yeah.
So, I don't know, Michael, what do you think? Are you excited for a Black Flag remake?
I want to be excited for Black Flag, because again, Black Flag was literally the last Assassin's Creed game I gave a shit about.
Yeah.
And part of it was because I was so obsessed with the fucking pirate shit that I remember I went out of my way to hunt larger ships than I was set for consistently, to the point where the game was just like, here's all the rewards. And I was like overly leveled essentially because I was just hunting everything.
Yeah.
Like I hunted down literally everything.
Yeah.
By the time the game was done, they're like, there's nothing other.
Whole Caribbean was depopulated. There were no animals, no people,
no other ships,
no plants
in the existence.
Everything
that can fight you. And I'm like, well, what else am I? What do I do now? I've conquered all.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic. I loved it. And then I never gave a shit about Assassin's Creed again after that. Yeah. Which was a shame. And part of it was because it was clear they didn't give a shit about the modern stuff because they had half-assedly ended 3 in a way that to this day I still think was stupid.
Right.
And so I'm wondering if they decided what they're doing with the modern day is trying to align with something they probably have already done currently, to try to make it seem like one coherent story now, instead of just like, we don't know what to do here. We made pirate assassins, and somebody's like, but what about the modern day? And we went, fuck. What can you make in 30 minutes?
Right.
That type of thing. Because there was nothing to that fucking modern day section. Oh, yeah. You didn't even have a character.
Yeah.
Or face. Yep. You were a first person screen.
And then as near as I can tell, the thing that they teased never was resolved.
Yeah.
It was like there's a guy, well, I won't talk about it just in case people haven't played it, but it was a dumb reveal and then it didn't go anywhere.
And I heard that one of the reveals got resolved in a book or something. It wasn't even in the game.
This franchise is such a fucking mess.
And and it wasn't the first time that had happened, even by that point.
Yeah,
because there's a character that showed up in 3. He's like the evil assassin, modern day assassin. And you're like, who the fuck is this guy?
Right.
And the only reason I knew was because there was a comic mini that came out that explained everything about him that was super compelling.
Yeah.
That would have been like, well, I wish this was in the game because this is really fucking fat. Like, this could have been a really cool game with a really cool twist at the end.
Sure.
When you read it. And then the game just doesn't bother telling you anything about him.
No, I agree.
And you're just like, why? What is wrong with you people?
So, you can also duck. I mean, you can like crouch.
Oh, okay.
And you can jump. They added like a jump button into Shadows, and I think they were like, oh, people really like that jump button. I guess we should. I'm like, okay.
That is always the funniest thing about like when you replay a game. You're like, wait, was I not able to do that before?
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of this where I don't like. That was a long fucking time ago that I played this game. And so the idea of they're like, yeah, look how much better it looks. I'm like, I don't fucking remember how it looked. This is how it looks in my memory.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
My memory is just a Pirates of the Caribbean movie. I don't know what you're like, oh man, you remember those early PS4 graphics? I'm like, no. Yeah. No, I do not.
This game was so early into the PS4's cycle that if you had the PS3 version, you got the PS4 version for free. It was one of the first games that did that.
But you still had to put in the PS3 disc in order to play it.
Yes, which still was a thing even for the PS5
So,
versions.
I mean, this looks fine. Like, it looks like Assassin's Creed Black Flag, the pirate game. I don't know. I am a little salty about this franchise because I used to like it, and it feels to me like they're not trying anymore.
Oh no, they gave up a long time ago.
Like their Viking thing didn't work, and they were like, I don't know, make one that looks like Assassin's Creed 1, and they did. It was like, that's garbage.
And make it for $20.
And then they were like, well, make a ninja one. They've been asking us for that for 20 years. And I was like, bitch, I already have a ninja Assassin's Creed. It's called Ghost of Tsushima /Yotei.
And it's so fucking cool.
And they're like, well, remake the one they all really liked with the pirate guy. And I'm like, I don't need you. I don't want to play with you anymore, Assassin's Creed. Like, that's fine and everything.
And even before that, they're like, what if we remastered 3? And I'm like, well, really?
but like, if there's a choice between playing this and playing something else really good that comes out around the same time, this is going on the back burner. I already played this game. I know what happens. Like,
yeah, that's the thing, is that Assassin's Creed 4 generally doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
Like, even when you cared about the modern day story, even when you kind of cared about the original storyline stuff, it really wasn't all that important to the main stuff overall. At least what it felt like. Because I generally don't remember how much Edward Kenway was that important, because he gets fucking murked in the future type of thing, which is why his son is a crazy person in Assassin's Creed 3.
Right.
So you're just like, okay, I guess, because the game doesn't reveal to you that he dies anyways, type of thing. So you're just like,
hey man, spoiler alert, I thought he lived forever. I was an immortal.
Yeah, it turns out he's in the present day. That's the twist of the game. No, he's just fucking, at some point he dies and his son goes crazy, like, and then his son makes Assassin's Creed 3 happen. It's like, great, fantastic.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, again, this is fine. It's just I don't know. This is just a Jeff thing too. I'm like really tired of the game industry just reheating my childhood like a TV dinner and serving it to me. Like, well, you liked this, didn't you? And I'm like, well, I did when I was in my 40s or I was in my late 30s. Like, actually, when the fuck did the original come out?
It was like I said, whenever the PS4 came out, basically, which was like what, 2008, 2009.
I should have known.
Actually,
this.
Maybe 2010.
Let's see. Black Flag is a 2013.
Oh, okay, then I was way off.
Yeah.
Either way, though, I remember because I borrowed it from a friend of mine.
13 years old. I was 35 when this came out. I'm 48 now.
See, Jeff, the problem I have is whenever they remake these, they're just like, why don't you remake a game that I can't still play on one of my current consoles? Like remake fucking any other Ubisoft game that's stuck on a PS2 or something.
Sure.
Or even a PS3. Because I can still buy Black Flag for the PS4 and just play it on my PS5. It's not like it goes, ew, 13 years old, and then just fucking explodes.
Right.
Like, why do we constantly remake games that are still backwards compatible with what we have currently?
And you know, I really want to be clear about this. This game doesn't look bad. It looks great. I mean, it looks great. They've gotten a lot of use out of their Snowdrop engine. They worked out a lot of the kinks with Shadows and Mirage. Like it looks more like the combat that I want, with the kind of parry and riposte and like leave a big stack of dudes in the middle of the street because no one can touch me because I'm not a 4-year-old and I have reflexes.
Actually, if anything, they should just remake Assassin's Creed 1, because that one's one that you could fix pretty, like, because that one has a lot of problems with it.
Yeah. I mean, so I don't know. If you were going to give it this much love, if you're going to remake the entire fucking thing from the ground up, start with 2. People love 2.
People love 2.
And there's like a quote unquote remaster of 2, but 2 was like early or mid PS3, and it does look really rough if you try to play it these days. Even the remastered collection doesn't look great. So
yeah, like that's the thing. Like remake some of the, because you can't buy a 360 one and put it in your PS5 type of thing. Like those are the ones you should be remastering. Because I know that there are remasters like on there that you can still get, but if you're really gonna do that, you might as well just do the entire series. Why? Like, don't start from 4. And like that's my issue. That was my issue with the Metal Gear Solid 3 thing. They're like, we're gonna remaster Metal Gear Solid. It's like, great. I can't wait for you to remaster the PS1 Metal Gear Solid game.
Right.
They're like, no, we're doing 3.
Yeah.
I'm like, I get why you want to do 3 because it's a great game, but like also fucking do the rest of them.
Technically,
first.
It is the earliest on the list chronologically. Technically,
I get that. But Jeff, I still have to play. If I had to do it in order, I have to do PS2 and then a PS1 game.
No, I understand, and I'm on your side. Technically, though,
no. But Black Flag doesn't doesn't have that excuse either. It's all stupid.
Anyway, I don't know. It looks fine. I also wonder if it's going to be a full $70 retail video game.
God, I could see Ubisoft doing that, even though it shouldn't be. But
I don't. And a lot of that comes down to how much do you have to change a game in order to make it like a new version of the game? Because they went on and on at length, like this guy is the original director and this guy is the director of the fucking Resynced, and they're all just here to talk about how like we didn't change anything, motherfuckers. We didn't change the story. We just added a little bit to it, like, but we were very, very careful. We didn't change anything. So I mean, I guess
we didn't make it woke or whatever,
right?
So don't sue us, people who didn't like Assassin's Creed.
Hey, you
Shadows.
know what? Look. If this came out 13 years ago, Michael, there are people that are 13 years old there were 13 years old that remember this game being fun that are now 26 and want to relive their childhood. So
that's true.
I'm an old man curmudgeon yelling at clouds and talking about how the children are the problem.
Yeah,
okay,
I was early 20s when this game came out, and I liked it a lot. But I don't know. It's just. There's so many other games, like you said, that are out.
Yeah,
I don't really have a reason to go back to play Black Flag.
It's also been just a banger of a time for single player action adventure games. Like there's a lot out there.
And as you mentioned, we've had a lot of really good Assassin's Creed like games that are better than what Assassin's Creed's been up to.
Yep.
So I just don't care as much anymore.
Yeah, I mean, so we'll see. Wood Kid, I guess, is doing some music for the thing, and there's the collector's edition.
Okay.
So, yeah, and we got a release date. It's coming out early July or mid July. I don't remember. It's fucking whatever. There it is, July 9th.
July 9th.
So yeah, the worst kept secret in gaming has now been revealed. Now show me the fucking Fallout 3 remaster, Todd. I'm tired of waiting, Todd.
I'm more bummed that this is what they ended up doing, but they canceled that Prince of Persia one.
Well, there's that.
Because that one would have been a kind of fun remake.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, Michael, you've got about 15 minutes. Let's talk about Dragon Ball.
So much Dragon Ball, guys. The Dragon Ball Games Hour happened, and I wasn't paying attention at the time. And then I was just being fed so much to the point where I was just sharing trailer after trailer on my Facebook.
Yeah, Michael's the one with the birthday this week. So
I was
so happy.
with
4-minute long Xenoverse 3 trailer.
Yes, so you remember a long time ago that there was an announcement at one of the other Dragon Ball things where they're like age 1000, and it was a guy with white hair wearing a Great Saiyamanish type colored outfit.
Sure.
And they're like, isn't this cool? And people were like, what does that mean, age 1000? It's like, well, it's the far, far, far long future of Dragon Ball. It's like 500 years in the future, essentially.
Okay. Is that why the buildings don't look like shit anymore?
Sure, let's go with that. And so you're just like, well, what does that mean? And then so nobody really knew at first. And then they're like, oh, psych, it's actually Xenoverse 3.
Yeah. And
I was like, oh, shit. And so they're doing a new Xenoverse is finally moving on from the 10-year game that is Xenoverse 2.
I had looked that up. I was like, damn.
You did the video for it so long ago.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember who you did it with.
I don't even think I did it when it came out. I think it was like after it had come out been out for a while.
I've spent so much money on that game, guys.
Yeah.
And so Xenoverse 3 is finally the continuation of what this is, but nobody really knows what the story is because it doesn't seem to be like the normal Time Patroller stuff.
Yeah.
Because it seems more superhero-like, because this guy like transforms and he's being told by what seems to be a Bulma descendant.
He's a real,
some kind.
A real kind of Sentai.
And so there's a character that's like talking a bunch, and then comes in the white-haired character. But it turns out the white-haired character is your creative character.
Is your character.
He's the default creative character skin.
Silent sidekick.
Toriyama tricked us by designing a temporary character just to be like, psych, it's you.
Right.
You're the guy.
Yeah.
You're John Xenoverse 3. And it's like, well, fuck. But I'm like very excited because I want to see what they do. Because the fun thing about Xenoverse is it's one of those few games that's not just an adaptation straightforwardly. It's its own thing, can do whatever it wants with its universe because it's an alternate. thing. So you can have dumb shit like, what if Goku and Ultra Instinct fighting Vegeta for some reason, like in the beginning of the show?
So what you're saying is it's quarantined off to be able to do whatever stupid fucked up shit they feel like, but it's not going to ruin anything.
Yeah.
It's not going to ruin the main storyline.
It looks you dead in the eye and goes alternate timeline, motherfucker.
Right.
It just says that over and over again. So if somebody goes, well, actually, it's like, well, actually, fuck you, alternate timeline.
Yeah.
Your job is to fix it, you nerd.
Okay.
And so, and then it has this little cutscene at the end, which seems to be like, I'm assuming, the beginning of the game.
Where you're
just
creating
before your character's created.
Yeah.
And
I did notice it was weird that they the lady crashes into the character, and I was like, that's what happens at the beginning of the thing.
Yeah.
I remember that with the lady with the stupid motorcycle with the giant thingy, and it crashes into the guy, and then they make dick jokes for like 60 issues. So
yep. It's a great time.
So
it's the best. But so Xenoverse 3 is happening. We know that it's happening, which is more than we've known ever.
Yeah.
And it's coming out sometime next year.
Yep.
And I'm very, very excited.
Do you have trepidation about moving on with Dragon Ball? I mean, I assume that Toriyama didn't write Xenoverse 2, right?
What he used to do is he used to write his ideas and then throw them at people.
Okay.
And then they would do whatever they did with his ideas.
Is there any trepidation about new teams that don't have his input doing Dragon Ball stuff?
Oh yeah, we're all worried about the future of Dragon Ball Super, for instance, because he died, and they're like, well, what do we do from here? It's like, well, we're gonna do like a filler arc, I guess, with that might have had some of his input in it, type of thing. And then this is probably one of the last bits of input he had game wise.
Okay,
so there's a point where they're just going to be like, well, we just do whatever. But for the games, it's not as much of an issue because he didn't. It was like Dragon Ball GT. He's like, here's a couple things, I guess. Do whatever you want with them.
So you already had teams that were filling in the blanks in a big bad way.
Because in Dragon Ball GT, he didn't write any of it. He didn't come up with most of the characters. He made like 3 or 4 character designs and threw them and go, here, that's all I'm going to do for you, type of thing.
Okay,
and then they did whatever they wanted with those designs.
Isn't Dragon Ball GT universally regarded as bad?
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
Oh, okay. But, right. I was like,
but that's the thing. It's not the first time we've ran into ourselves going like, what is a Dragon Ball like without Toriyama?
Sure.
Like, well, the two things where that happened were, I don't know, Dragon Ball GT and Dragon Ball Evolution.
Yeah.
So
bad. So bad was the answer.
And so, but the only difference is now that we're like, well, we're now at a point where we have a bunch of unfinished storylines, but that's, that has nothing to do with Xenoverse itself.
Right.
Because Xenoverse was always like this weird side project. Because a lot of the stuff is actually built on top of ideas he already had for a now defunct MMO called Dragon Ball Online, where it was basically the story of Xenoverse, but like in a very different way.
Okay.
And that, like, to the point where he even wrote like the fates of a bunch of characters, like, in the far-flung future.
Okay.
And most of that stuff has never been mentioned again. And so I wouldn't be surprised if they grabbed a bunch of that stuff again.
All right. Speaking, I think, of Dragon Ball GT, Sparking Zero is getting the super limit breaking Neo
So this
update?
is... Yes, so this is a free update, which is the best thing about it, because they could have easily charged for this.
Yeah.
But instead, it's a free update with like a bunch of new characters, a bunch of new skins for existing characters, new finishing moves, because Gohan, for instance, does a move in this trailer that is is from one of the movies, and they added some new Dragon Ball characters, some new Dragon Ball GT characters, a couple new stages, and just like a whole lot of fucking cool fun shit in it. And like it's a celebration of GT a lot, because there's a lot of new GT characters, or not new, but you know what I mean. And then as well as just like side characters that appeared in other stuff in Dragon Ball Super and in Dragon Ball proper.
Now I have a very important question. Did I see Vegeta having like a really terrible evil Spock facial hair?
Oh, that's Vegeta's dad.
Oh,
that's King Vegeta.
Sure, put a small mustache and beard combo on him. That means he's old.
Yeah, it also meant he was a dick.
Yeah,
but and they also came out with there's a bunch of there's some outfits that I'm like, thank fucking Christ I now have that outfit that appears, and there's like new finishing moves, as I mentioned, that goes with
some kind
certain characters,
roguelike mode, some kind of power up.
Yeah,
just like
they made new single player modes as well. So it's one of them is like you said, it's like a roguelike that you can power up your character. It's very reminiscent of Budokai 3's little weird thing they had.
Oh yeah.
And there's just a lot of cool shit that they've added.
And it's all free.
It's all free, which is so fucking cool of them.
Yeah.
because they easily could have just charged for a lot of stuff. We don't know if all of the characters fully are free per se, but as far as we can tell, they are, which is wild, all things considered.
This is a very overwhelming trailer because there's just a lot of pictures of people that are real weird looking. So
well, what's great is there's so many just like attacks and stuff that are just references to things like movies, episodes of Dragon Ball GT, episodes of Dragon Ball proper, Dragon Ball Z proper. I'm just sitting here being just giddy the entire time because I was like, yes,
when
now there's some things I can do again.
That's coming this summer?
Yeah, so it's most likely going to be June or July, most likely.
Okay.
So I'm very excited for that.
Okay. Not a lot of time. Okay, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 Future Saga Chapter 4 teaser. This is the end of Xenoverse 2?
Yes, so this is the final DLC to Xenoverse. This is the finale of Xenoverse 2, which has been going on for 10 years.
It's fucking nuts.
There's so many game packs and so many like expansion stories to this game that you could spend a while playing this game, which I have done. And so it's going to be it's the finale of the Future Saga that he did, which is there's this one guy, his name is Fu. He's been like this kind of side bad character.
Yeah.
Honestly, he's closer to chaotic neutral than he is evil. Because what he does is he likes just making fucking weird what if scenarios.
Yeah, sure.
For like energy purposes for some reason. Because he likes to just walk up to people and go, "What if you fought you?" And people would be like, "Dude, you can't do that." And he's like, "I'm gonna." And that's like half of his shit. So he's more of a troll than anything. But eventually, I guess he becomes a little more corrupt as it goes on, making these weird scenarios. And the Future Saga like added a lot of what was left of Dragon Ball Super into it. And so I never played part 3, so I don't know what chapter 4 is.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious to see how this series finally ends, Xenoverse 2.
Sure.
Because goddamn, this thing has so much DLC, guys. I'm hoping there'll be like a complete edition for this game for people, because my goodness.
Also coming this summer.
Yes, also coming this summer.
I think I picked this up, but it wasn't necessarily a big thing. Squadra Blast World Championships. So this is going. You
remember that
MMO,
the MOBA that we played?
Yep.
This is just the tournament that you can play on the game itself. So it's not really much to say other than you can get some prizes and stuff if you do the tournament.
Are you going to enter?
No, absolutely not.
No,
I don't have.
We're kicking like 8-year-old ass on this game.
No, I have fun with it, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, I have to be at home at this time so I can be part of a tournament. I'm sorry, I can't go on a date night.
Yeah. Well, but if you get all the way to the finals, you get to go to Japan.
No, I'm good. Because I have to go to Japan for that. That sounds like a crazy person thing. But no, it seems like a fun idea, but it's not really for me.
And then last but not least, bunch of Dragon Ball Fighters.
So Dragon Ball Fighters had got, I assume, nobody really knows this if this is the end for Dragon Ball Fighters at this point, but it got a brand new character who's out as of yesterday, actually.
Yeah.
He's $8 on it's called the Daima pack, and it's just, it's Super Saiyan 4 Daima Goku.
Okay.
Which is it's the Goku from the last thing Toriyama fully made.
Okay.
And so he's, he looks fucking really cool. He's the
one wearing the monkey sweater.
Yeah, he's the newer monkey sweater Goku who has Donkey Kong hands, as we call them, because he's got big fucking hands. And he's even more muscular than normal Super Saiyan 4 Goku was.
Okay.
And I think he looks really cool. There's not much else to say other than like there's a lot of cool references and stuff here and there.
Yeah.
To his attacks, and that it is exciting just that they looked at Dragon Ball FighterZ, a game that hasn't had any updates in a very long time, and went new character just randomly.
Yeah.
So people are wondering does that mean you're going to add even more people, or is this just like a happenstance addition? And so he's in there. And there also if you buy it, you get some emote stamps, I think, for the online mode, as well as the little chibi guys that walk around.
Okay.
And a bunch of colors for his costume, so he can have the GT color scheme for Super Saiyan 4. But he looks really cool, and I got him earlier today. I haven't had a chance to fuck around with him.
Okay,
but that's just exciting if you like Dragon Ball Fighters. A new characters to fuck around with.
And there's a bunch of other stuff, but we don't have time to go into all that.
And some stuff that honestly, it's not really game related, so we don't really have to talk about the Dragon Ball Super remake stuff.
Yeah, so. But I mean, hey, it's nice that I guess that they've shoved out enough games that this franchise can get updates over 6 ongoing video games at the same time.
It's wild.
Like, what the fuck, man? That's a lot. Yeah, and with that, we're just under time, so we're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, oh my goodness, there's more news. There's more news, so stick around. And we're back. And Michael, we're not quite done. We got a little bit more. This is weird. It's kind of Dragon Ball adjacent news that came up this week. So apparently, Toei is launching a full games division.
Interesting.
So yeah, they're known for like One Piece, Dragon Ball, a bunch of different animation stuff.
Toei's known for like a lot of crazy shit.
They even have like a new logo that's like a pixelated version of the little waves crashing over that somebody made for them. You want to hear what the weird thing is, though?
Yeah, what is that?
I'll tell you the weird thing, and then it may or may not make sense to you right away, but I'll make it make sense. They are not making any games based on their anime properties. Oh. This is original games only.
Wow, really?
And I was like, oh. And then I was like, right, because you guys have already licensed these things for 20 years to Bandai Namco.
Yeah.
Like, Bandai
Namco basically owns the licenses for these.
Yeah.
And they're not going to let go of them.
Yes. So, I don't know. That's kind of interesting to see, so that they don't just become a Dragon Ball arm of Toei or a Dragon Ball / One Piece arm of Toei, having to make their own individual stuff. Hey, they're known for good stories and well-loved franchises. So if you guys think you could do it, hey, bring it on. I love video games. I want more video games.
Toei also is really known for making some really interesting IPs themselves.
Yeah.
That never really come to America, or when they do come to America, they have this very niche audience usually, and so for all we know, that may end up becoming a good thing for them. Maybe they'll do some Tokatsu, like Sentai type video games here and there. Maybe, who knows?
Yeah,
that could be fun.
Whatever it is, it seems like it could be a good move. All right. Mike and I talked about this earlier this week, but the biggest news, the biggest game news, the biggest industry news of the week is I got an email that said your Game Pass subscription cost is going down.
Yes.
This is not a thing that happens. I don't get that. I get Netflix is going up. I get their HBO is going up. I get that fucking EA Play is going up. I never get an email saying the shit is going down, but I got one from Microsoft. Yeah. So Game Pass Ultimate is going from $30 to $23 a month. And then the PC Game Pass is going from $16.50 to $14. However, I didn't read. They didn't include this when they sent me the email. But in reading this, I now know why, and it is because no more Call of Duty on Game Pass day one.
Oh,
new Call of Duties not on Game Pass. 1 year later, yes, on Game Pass. And when they release, no Game Pass. This is directly a thing that Bryce and I were just yelling about last week about how to make Game Pass more profitable. You spent $69 billion on Activision Blizzard and then gave away their main product for fucking $20 a month.
I think we talked about this too, even before when we first heard about this, because we weren't on podcast the week they were talking about this idea.
Yeah.
And so we talked about it off mic, but we were like, literally our first thought was like, well, what do you do? It's like, well, you get rid of Call of Duty off of Game Pass is the first thing you do.
Yep.
You had a cash cow and went, come on inside, cash cow. Mm-hmm. No one wants to see you right now.
Yep.
And then they're just like, here, guys, walked up to people giving them Call of Duties essentially for free. Mm-hmm. And ironically enough, it was the worst Call of Duty they've made in a very long time.
Yep.
So there was no way so they couldn't pull the genie back in the bottle.
Yep.
Because it's one thing if it's like, hey, we gave you the greatest Call of Duty ever made for free for a month,
right? And
then took it away, and they're like, oh my god, I want it back, and I'm going to buy it.
Right.
If they did that, they're going to be like, cool, I don't fucking need it anymore. So, and they have no way of knowing if a Call of Duty, they have no way of knowing in general if a game is going to be good before it comes out.
Sure.
Because for a good example that happened very recently with see, I already forgot the name of the fucking game. The one that was made by the ex-Apex people from earlier this year.
High Guard?
High Guard.
Oh.
They happened with High Guard because the developers are like, we have lightning in a bottle. It's going to sell a gajillion copies.
Right.
Everyone's going to love this game.
Sure.
And then it failed miserably because nobody fucking cared. So imagine like if High Guard, if those people were making Call of Duty and they had the same thought process in Call of Duty.
Sure.
Walked up to Phil Spencer going, this is going to be great. It's going to be like an angel blew you type of thing. And it comes out and it's like, no, it's like if a devil kicked you in the balls a bunch of times. Mm-hmm. And then an angel was watching in the background going, maybe better next time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I feel like I need to. I think that they now know, but I feel like you need to sit Microsoft down and be like, okay, listen. You can either use Call of Duty to drive your Game Pass numbers, or you can make money selling Call of Duty. You can't do both.
I know.
Like,
it's impossible.
If you offer it on Game Pass, you're going to have a bunch of people who are not going to buy it for $70. If you put it on $70, you're getting a lot of people who are going to cancel their Game Pass because they're only using it for that one thing. So, like, you have to make a choice. This is not a fucking, this is not a fucking Jimmy John situation over here. Like, you can't have both. You can't have people pay $70 and give you $20 a month for Game Pass at the same time.
It just wasn't going to work out, and their other games just weren't up to snuff for you to be worth $30.
Are you telling me that Kiln is not worth $30? I'm sorry, I can't even. All right, so. Yeah, new Call of Duty is off Game Pass. We also have a bit of a report internally that they're going to be trying to put older Call of Duties on Game Pass because they're not all on there. There's a lot of them that just straight up are not on there.
Honestly, that would be a great idea. Yeah. Put all of the ones except for the newest one. Mm-hmm. That would give people a lot of reasons to want to have Game Pass for Call of Duty.
Especially if the multiplayer worked on all of them. If you could have all of those ecosystems running simultaneously. I don't know if that's even a thing. I don't know if they still work.
A lot of them still do, but the problem is they stop paying attention to them, so they're rampant with cheaters.
Oh, okay.
So, like, for instance, World at War, last I heard, was, like, full of people that could... Like, you stand there, and then all of a sudden you burst into flames for no reason.
Sure.
So, yeah.
So that happened, which I think that's good. I think that's a good way to... That's a good consolation prize for people who like Call of Duty. It's like, well, you don't get the new one, but here's all the old ones. Here's all of the old ones.
And it would be... Honestly, I think, again, it would be a great idea for them to look at the servers for the ones that are still active and try to, like... make them usable again.
Put a few people on there. Don't fire like 3 people and put them on server, dude.
No, that'd be a great idea.
Also, there's a rumor going around. This one's from a leaker, but from somebody with a good leaking track record, that the next step is giving you the ability to build an a la carte Game Pass. So, like, if you don't want the Fortnite add-ons, you can take those out and it will reduce the cost of Game Pass.
Oh.
And like you can basically like add the stuff, like if you want EA Play but you don't want Fortnite, then you can put that in there and it's going to be X amount as a way to basically not make you pay for all of these weird bonuses that you don't fucking use.
Yeah, there's a lot of bonuses in the Game Pass that I remember hearing about. And just being like, well, if you're not doing that, why would you want to be having it in there?
Right. But then also adding more stuff in there so that, like, if you want to add, they were talking in here about, like, if you want to add a World of Warcraft or, like, a Minecraft Realm subscription, that you can then just, like, add that into Game Pass instead of making that a separate thing. So it's all consolidated. Kind of like the comparison given here is like Amazon, the way that Amazon will, like, that you have Prime Video, but that you could add like stars to Prime Video on top of that.
Oh, okay.
So, which is good. I mean, if Microsoft wanted to unify all of their billing into basically every subscription that they're able to offer happens inside of Game Pass, that's a great way to give you a one-stop shop to turn stuff on and off, as opposed to a Minecraft, and a Warcraft.
It's the bundle, the HBO, or it's the HBO Max, Disney Plus, Hulu bundle thing.
Right.
It's like, why should you need to have to pay attention to 5 different subscription services?
Yeah.
When you can just put them all on one specific one, and if you're lucky, they might give you a discount for doing that.
Yeah.
And if anything, that would be the best way of doing some of this stuff, as you mentioned, because if you're a la carting Game Pass first being like, well, I don't play Fortnite, so I don't need Fortnite's whatever, I forgot what's called, the membership thing, because there's a membership thing. I ironically enough have it, which is the thing that makes me laugh about it. And so it's like, if you don't need that, you can take it off, but if you don't want to play all the EA games, take that off too, type of thing. That would really help a lot of people who don't care about some of that stuff save a little more money.
Fortnite
I think that's a great idea.
Fortnite Crew.
That's what it's called.
I
know something lame.
And hey, you know what? If this is what Asha Sharma is going to do, then I think these are good opening moves. Right?
These are great opening moves.
I'm not saying that like we should now trust her to do everything, but like there was a lot of question about what she was going to do, and like these are some good, no nonsense ideas. Yes, please take Call of Duty out of Game Pass. Don't raise the price of Game Pass again. Take Call of Duty out of Game Pass. I don't want Call of Duty. I want vampire crawlers.
No.
I want I want the mid-tier. I want Aphelion. I want the mid-tier games. I don't want the AAA games because quite frankly, if I'm going to get those, I'm probably going to get them on PS5 Pro because they're going to look better and play better.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
And what's great about these decisions is not just for us, but it's for her, because these are decisions she can make easily without having to walk into a person's office and be like, make good Halos.
Right.
Like, you can't just do that. Like, it's not like they can just be like, okay, I hit the button, now all Halos are good.
Yeah.
It's like, no, those things take time, but this is something she can immediately do and get on everybody's good side, and I think it's great for her.
See, in other Microsoft news, there's some weirdness about Project Helix. So Project Helix is the next Microsoft thing. It's a code name for it. They're sending out swag for it already. Yeah. I was like, I actually think that's a smart move of giving influencers a hoodie with the Project Helix logo on it. So, okay, there was a leaker, Kepler L2, who came out and basically said that Microsoft will be selling Project Helix chips to ASUS and MSI.
Interesting.
And so the idea here was that ASUS, that given the success of the Aya Neo, the Xbox ASUS handheld thing that they made, they're like, maybe Microsoft is going the direction of like, you guys make it. Like you make it, we'll sell it type of thing, as opposed to we're going to do all this shit internally, because Microsoft apparently just doesn't know how to do anything anymore. So
everything's an Xbox again.
Yeah. But apparently, so then here's a weird thing. So this came out, they leaked it, they talked about it, everybody was speculating on what the fuck it was going to be. And then Jason Rowland, the vice president of Xbox Gaming's devices and ecosystem, came out and said, replied to this on Twitter, Project Helix will be available as a first-party Xbox console. And I was like, those seem like some very specifically chosen words.
Those are very specific. Because if it was him saying this isn't true, he would have said this isn't true. The Xbox, the Project Helix is an Xbox, is all he would have said.
Yes.
Instead, he said it will be available as a first-party Xbox console, and didn't say the words, this isn't true.
Yes.
He didn't protest at all.
That's true. Very true. So that could mean anything, but it could mean that we're going to live in a world where you can buy Project Helix from Microsoft or MSI or ASUS. Or
maybe it's going to be built in, maybe you can buy PCs that use its innards.
Possibly.
That you could just play PC games off of.
Put a Project Helix card in and you can play a bunch of Xbox stuff natively.
Because that was the rumor about Helix, was that it is basically just the PC, and so people could probably theoretically, this is actually one of the reasons why people think PlayStation decided to be like, I don't think we want to do our first party on PC anymore. Was the theoretically, if it's just the PC, you can technically play Spider-Man on your Xbox, if it's a PC.
Yeah.
So some people think the rumor is that PlayStation heard about this and went, well, fuck you, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
And then that's when they might have made that decision about first-party titles.
Yeah. So it's a weird rumor, and it's very vague at the moment. We'll have to see as things move forward what's going on. But it is. I just found the choice of words. Like I recognize corpo speak with a lot of wiggle room when I see it, and I'm like, well, that doesn't fucking mean anything. That could mean anything.
Yeah.
That could mean that you purchased Asus or that you shot the CEO of MSI. It could mean anything or nothing.
Look, Xbox, I need you to tell me it isn't a cult.
Right. So
you're not saying it. Why won't you say it?
Don't tell me what it is. Tell me what it isn't. Don't tell me what it's available. Tell me what's not available.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Let's see. Next up, speaking of Microsoft, Starfield became a number one. Okay, this is very strange weasel words in this story about it. Basically, was like a bestseller the week it came out on the PS5. That the PS5 was like 95% of their sales, and then there were still sales on the Xbox, but that apparently it made enough money that it was like at the top of the profit list for about a week.
Interesting. I heard various things about the sales numbers.
I mean, from the article that I've seen here, it looks like the number that they're going with is like 100 and some odd thousand, which ended up being like 6 or 7 million, I think, worth of profit.
Oh, here it is. It says below is a checklist where Starfield
140K
sat on the top 25.
Yeah.
So that's what it was. It's like we were in the top 25.
No, it was higher than that. I had to do a lot about this. Like I had to read about this in 60 different places because the headline says it was number 1, and then this list says it's number 8, and then other place says it's in the top 10. They apparently did manage to eke up over. It's just it didn't stay there for very long. And it's also has to be factored as this like the most profitable because you have to add in the physical sales that are not on the digital list to what's going on.
That's probably
it's a
what
whole
happened.
fucking thing.
Yeah.
But
that is that is just the problem with figuring out game sales in general.
Yeah,
because some places don't even fucking tell you anything anymore.
Yes.
But the thing is that I'm happy for Starfield, and not in the sense that I hate Starfield or anything. I've never actually said I hated Starfield. I've just said I'm disappointed by Starfield.
Sure.
You know, like the way you're disappointed with your son, who you're like, you're going to be great, and then he, yeah. And so, actually, the reason why I'm happy for Starfield is because it shows that Microsoft just keeps fucking up. Because, in my opinion, I don't mean that by the sense that Game Pass kept it from making sales, but by the fact that the PlayStation by default just has so many more users.
Yeah.
And just anything that's going to come out on it is going to make more money by default because of the fact there's more users. And because the PlayStation is the king in everywhere that isn't just America. America's the only place where it's a fight. And even then, it hasn't been a fight in a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I mean, I don't know why it took them this fucking long to do. I mean, I guess I kind of do. They actually put a lot of work into that Free Lanes update, and they had a whole new storyline and new ship parts and new ships and new things and new companions. There was a lot going on in there. The thing is that I feel like Starfield just it needs more. Put in more. I mean, actually, no, you know what? I don't know, because I had to stop playing it. It was eating my brain. It was fucking destroying my existence. And I was like, I gotta stop. I gotta stop with this bullshit. I do think there's a very good game in there. It's just it makes it as hard as humanly possible to play.
Yeah. That's the thing, is that all the people who are really in the Starfield say that what was given was not as interesting as they were hoping.
Yeah.
And they are like on the we need more stuff category. I'm hoping it's selling well on the PlayStation means they'll start putting more money to keep that sort of set of updates coming.
Yeah. Let's see. Moving on from Starfield, let's talk about Marathon.
Okay.
We got sales numbers for Marathon. Apparently, Marathon was number 4 in last month in March when it launched. For reference, the top of the chart was MLB The Show. Resident Evil Requiem was number 2. It was number 1 the month before when it launched.
I didn't even know they still made MLB The Show.
Yep. Number 3 was WWE 2K26, and then number 4 Marathon, and number 5 was Pokemon Pocopia, which is an estimate because Nintendo doesn't actually say their full sales.
No, yeah. And honestly, that's pretty good considering.
Yeah.
Because Marathon is actually surprisingly well received, and I don't mean that as necessarily the worst thing. The reason I say surprisingly is that Bungie has been just constantly in the dumps for a long time, especially with their management issues, their money issues, their just low ass morale, that everyone was hoping it would fail. And I'm actually pleasantly surprised that it's doing great, because Marathon, I think, has a really cool thing going for it. It's got this great art style. It's actually got this really interesting story that's wrapped around it. And there's a lot of really cool abilities and characters and stuff.
Yep.
The only downside it has is it's known as the more aggressive extraction shooter.
It's not it's a modest success, and according to everything that we've been seeing, it is not staying around. It is not sticking. It keeps dropping players.
I think part of that is the thing I just mentioned, which is that it's because here's the thing: it was we mentioned before. Arc Raiders is so much fun because there are whole times you'll walk into an area, never get shot by anybody other than the enemy NPCs.
Yep.
And there'll be people just like dicking around. There was that news story we did a while back, the fun one, where somebody found an empty section that had a shelf area and an open window and made their own shop.
Yep.
They're like, "What are you buying, dude?" type of thing, and they'll trade and stuff, and that was really fun. Whereas everyone I've ever talked to who's played Marathon, I'm like, "So what's the average Marathon experience?" Like, well, you walk outside and then you die. The end.
Yep.
Like you have to really be in the Marathon to really want to play it, is what I'm hearing.
Which they found themselves in a difficult situation, which is that the hardcore players that are playing it are not enough to keep the teams that are going to make seasons of content working.
Yes.
You're going to have to accept much reduced skins, items, quests, all that stuff, because you can keep the servers turned on, obviously, but like for a live service game to keep going, you have to have a good player count. It has to stay.
Yes.
You can't be losing them. You can't be, oh, there was an update for Arc Raiders. Oh, there was an update for, take your pick. There was an update for Starfield, and everybody left to go play Starfield, and now there's basically, because the more people slip, the longer the queue times are. The longer the queue times are, the more people look at other games. It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
In fact, so last week, I don't know if you know this, but last week they introduced two new things to try, or they introduced one new thing to try to bring in new players, which was the ability to revive. Everybody starts with a revive kit that they can use on another player. And then a series of achievements for unlocks where you have to extract with people that are not in your team.
Oh, well, that's dumb.
With the idea that you will revive people and then be cool with them in order to try to get the thing. A lot of the reports I've seen online are that people just revive people so they can kill them twice because they're dicks. And that's like what this game is.
That was the thing. I was going to be like, that sounds like the innards of somebody who goes like, you know what? Sunshines and rainbows, people.
Right.
These people are going to be nice. It's like, well, they're already not nice now.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, well, this is going to make them nice. It's like, no, it will not.
Apparently there's also a debate going on about, no, not a debate. Marathon is on sale on the Xbox, which is not a very good sign.
I didn't even realize that.
There's not a lot of Xbox uptick on this. It was like very, very low down on the list. Most people are playing on PC. Those that are not playing on PC are generally on PS5.
Yeah.
Xbox is definitely third. And it's not a huge, I mean, the game is $40, but it got put on sale for $32 last week.
Oh, wow, that was fast.
That's a bit of a discount, and people are... I've been watching I've been watching Marathon very closely because I think that the community of Marathon is in hardcore denial. People keep saying, I would play this game if there was a PvE mode. I would play this game if there was a mode that I could play without having to do deathmatch. And people are like, that's not the point. That would ruin the game. No.
It's the Dark Souls thing.
If you don't want to come in and get your balls kicked over, I like getting my balls kicked. So if you don't want to get your balls kicked, maybe you go play maybe go play Pocopia with fucking babies. And it's like, okay. And then they did.
And then
your game got shut down and nobody was allowed to play it anymore.
Exactly.
Like the idea, Bryce and I were brainstorming last week, and I was like, make a fucking friend slot mode where it's just me and 3 friends versus the bots. Make the bots harder. Put more of them on the map.
Yeah.
Make us have to do a thing. Make it rounds where you have to get more and more loot every time. I would play that game. I love the way the game looks. Bungie makes good feeling shooting video games.
Oh, 100%.
We even had a pretty good time when I was getting my balls shot. When I was getting my balls kicked when we played the game. But I'm not going to devote my free time in a world with Mouse PI and Pragmata and fucking Resident Evil and take your pick.
Yeah.
To just getting my nuts kicked. I'm gonna play a game that massages my nuts and tells me what a good boy I am. So
yeah, Marathon, unfortunately, without meaning to, got all the hardcore guys where Arc Raiders figured out a way. I don't even know if they figured it out so much as that somehow their system for segregating the more intense players from the more chill players just worked out really well.
Yep.
Because I don't even know if Marathon has that as an option.
I don't think so.
And if it doesn't, that's probably what caused this stuff to happen.
If it was found to have implemented it, the players would be mad.
Yes.
And so the idea is like, I don't know what to tell players that are just like, this game needs to be as hard as humanly possible. It's like, that doesn't work for games of service.
Yeah.
If it works as a multiplayer game, if it had a single player campaign and there was multiplayer, that would work. If it had more modes, that would work. But if it's only an online multiplayer game and only the sweatiest of sweats are willing to play it, you're just not going to,
Well, this is what happened to Highguard. Highguard, all the people who were like, hey, Highguard's a good game, were known as the sweatiest of sweaty players.
Yep.
To the point where one of them said, no, this is for me because I'm a sweaty player. Yep. There's no one else was going to like this game. And they said that out loud. And then it happened. All the casual people left because they were tired of just either getting their shit rocked.
Yep.
Or having nothing to do. Like, there's one or the other is what's happening with this stuff.
Yep.
And this Marathon needs some major overhauls if it needs to keep the casual person.
Absolutely. They also put out an update that changed one of the kind of one-hit kill shotguns that was in the game to make it less one-hit killy.
Oh, geez.
And I just saw nothing but people complaining in the comments about how I can't pwn noobs with that shotgun.
I don't see this going well for Marathon.
That's the thing is that
I said all this praise in the beginning.
I love it,
but now I feel bad.
Yeah, no, I'd love if there was a reason for me to play the game, but there's not. And as long as there's not, I'm not going to do it. And if that happens, then eventually the game's going to get canned.
Well, it's what we said when they first announced Marathon. I love everything about this game.
Yep.
Except for what it is.
Speaking of extraction shooters and Sony, you remember Fair Games?
Yeah, vaguely.
It had it was like teams of 3. They were doing a heist in a weird place.
Yeah, that was the game I thought that other game was at the time, if I remember correctly.
Apparently that game is still being developed.
Really?
Yeah. And it's got an extraction shooter mode to it. But apparently this is just an update. Insider Gaming said that, the game is still under active development. I guess that it was far enough along that when Sony started doing their purge, it didn't touch this, because why the fuck would you shut down Blue Point and leave this hunk of shit in development?
You want to know what probably happened? They probably forgot about it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was somebody was looking over the list going, what's Fair Game? And it's like, I don't know. I think that's just the default title something there.
Yeah.
And just forgot about it. That's fucking hilarious.
Anyway, that's still rolling. Also,
extraction
Sony,
shooters are everything now for people.
Has started rolling out their age verification bullshit for the UK and Ireland.
Oh, yeah, because of the safety thing.
Because in June... Actually, it's funny because I looked through this, and apparently if you don't do it, what happens... I was actually kind of like, can I have unverified status in the United States? Because let me see if I can find out. It's like... Okay, if users do not verify their age, they may lose access to PlayStation communications features. This includes voice and text chat, messaging, third-party communication tools such as Discord, broadcasting and sharing, streaming to YouTube or Twitch, and in-game user-generated content. And I'm like, I don't want any of that.
Yeah. Threaten me with a good time is what you're telling me for the most part, except for a couple of those.
Can I just play with the kids and just use emotes to be like, go over there? I'm under fire. Like, I don't want to hear somebody screaming about my mother when there's like a baby in the background going through their DualShock 5. Like, fuck that.
Yeah, most of that sounds pretty nice, actually.
Yeah.
Except for the Discord thing. But even then, you can just use your phone to talk to each other through Discord while doing that.
There's so many games where I have to turn all that shit off, and I'm just like, no, stop.
I've never seen you have that stuff on unless it's with us in a party.
Yep. Let's see. We got a little bit of an update on the Bloodborne movie that Jacksepticeye is on.
Yeah.
Apparently he got some static online, and he kind of came out to be like, look, I'm not doing this to make money. He panned around his room. He's like, I've got the fucking statues of Bloodborne characters. I've got a tattoo of the hunter's mark on my arm. Like, I love this franchise more than anything, and I'm here to just try to help make the best possible version of it, not to like be a Jake Paul asinine YouTuber. I'm not trying to cash in. I'm just trying to make things good.
I'm not going to be in this movie and like where I'm the main character or something.
Yes.
Like, I'm here to make sure that this game or that's sorry, to make sure that this movie doesn't have somebody going, but what if it had Taylor Swift songs in it?
Right.
He's going to be like, no.
Robert De Niro is Jonathan Bloodborne's father. They're a monster hunting family.
They're going on a road trip.
That's right.
Actually.
With Mark Wahlberg and Joe Pesci.
And what if we get Mel Gibson? It's like, you get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Speaking of casting, we also got a bunch of new casting for the Elden Ring. I had 2 segues lined up for that.
I completely forgot the Elden Ring one was happening.
So the Elden Ring thing is shaping up to look really good.
Oh, that's good.
Like there was a guy out in the UK that was like wandering around in a park, and he found like they built a whole America church, like with the statue of her in there, and it was just like in a big field where they were doing production. He was like, I'm gonna take some pictures of this.
Oh, it'll be hard not to. I would too.
But yeah, we've got a full. Well, first off, the movie's supposed to come out March 3rd of 2028.
Okay,
so a little ways away.
Still got some time.
I don't know a lot of these names, but I'm just going to read them off. Kit Connor, Ben Wishaw, Kaylee Spaney, Tom Burke, Havana Rose Liu, Sonoya Mizuno, Jonathan Pryce, I know who that is, Ruby Cruz, Nick Offerman, John Hodgkinson.
I've heard some of these names.
Jefferson Hall, Emma Laird, and Peter Serafinowicz.
Oh, that's cool. I love Peter Serafinowicz.
See, some people are like, please tell me that Peter Serafinowicz is Patches, because that would be great.
That would be wonderful. He'd be so good at that.
So, yeah, it seems like it's... And the thing is that they've done interviews with Alex Garland, and he's like, yeah, I'm on my 7th playthrough of Elden Ring, and like, I fucking know all the lore and all this shit. Like, he seems like he's actually into it.
Yeah, he's probably reading everything that he can find lore-wise. He's probably on those forums going, so what does this mean?
Yeah, he's probably watching our Patreon videos. They also had somebody... I don't know how they got this, but... And I don't even know if you know this, but they had a scene from the movie where it's a bunch of people throwing
the dung eater
stuff at the loathsome dung eater as he's hung up on, on a scaffold. So, and the people are all dressed up in, kind of medieval.
They're going all in then. Yeah. So.
Yeah, there's also a picture of somebody dressed up as America that looks like really nice. It looks like they're doing it very well. The main question at this point seems to be, are they going to do... So there's just rumblings that it's going to be a prequel about the Shattering War that happened before the game.
That would be kind of fun.
Which would be better than just trying to remake... I mean, there's so fucking much in the game that it would be hard to just do that.
Well, not only that, every run is so different.
Yeah,
like you have people being like, "Well, this is if you do this run, this is the definitive storyline."
Yeah,
but it's like, no, that's just the way you did it, and you want to tell everybody it's the definitive way. Like, there's no way. It's one of those games where, like, I remember that the first playthrough me and you did separately, I told you about a guy, and you're like, I don't know who the fuck you're talking about.
Yep.
At some point, and then eventually you found him.
It was Kenneth Haidt talking about the Big Girl's Blouse.
Yeah, there's so many characters that are you just don't know about until you do it a couple times over.
I had to do like 2 hours of research or more for every 1 hour that we recorded just to get my shit in a row. So let's see. We also got some kind of off-color shots from the Legend of Zelda movie. This one very specifically is from like production assistant or somebody like that. A lot of the stuff has gotten taken down, but people took pictures of it. One of the big ones was like a clapboard for the movie that actually showed the main character dressed up in the green Link costume.
Green tunic, yeah. He's got a cape like it kind of reminds me of the way it looked almost in the Hyrule Warriors one. That little cape thing.
Yep. So not a lot more than that. There's one other thing that was a cast photo, and people are thinking this is the Temple of Time because of this one little archway over here.
I could kind of see that.
You know how crazy people are. There's also indications there's a lot of different Zelda things all mashed together into this one movie.
Yeah, because the first image is very Breath of the Wild, but the most famous story of them all is, I almost said A Link to the Past because that's my favorite, is Ocarina of Time.
Yep.
Which that's the one everybody knows. So it's like it would be insane for them not to adapt some of that stuff in there, I feel.
Yep. Be interesting to see how it goes. Let's see. Speaking of actors, Troy Baker apparently is interested in making his own video game.
Oh, is he going to do all the voices in it?
He's going to do all of them. Apparently,
he's also going to sing because he can do the soundtrack.
He's been approached by a number of different places that are like, well, so do you want to be like the director on a video game, which, like, to be honest, Troy Baker's been around video games for so goddamn long that I'm like, he probably knows at least how to tell the good from the bad.
Well, yeah, he's been through the process from pretty much beginning to end for a lot of them. He's done the mocap, he's done the voice work, he's been in the rooms for sound design stuff. He's done. I wasn't joking about the soundtrack thing. He did some music for fucking Death Stranding 2.
Yep.
Like, the man has actually been part of a lot of the game development, and it wouldn't be the first time that's happened with some people who were considered on the outside of the game development originally ending up in the forefront of it.
Absolutely.
And if anybody, I think Troy Baker is one of the better ones to have for that.
Yep. I do too. I think he's had a good track record, and yeah, I mean, if he wants to do it, more power to you.
Yeah, when I hear Troy Baker's doing it, but if I heard Tara Strong was going to do it, I was like, no, that's a terrible idea.
Let's see. Speaking of famous voices, apparently, there's a story. There's a video game. It's called Last Flag.
I've heard about what's happening with this.
We saw Last Flag a few times. It was a capture the flag online game with some kooky character designs, and the big kind of hook of it was that you could take the flag and hide it, so the flag doesn't always default back to the same location.
Yes.
And then you have a bunch of semi Fortnite. It looks like what was that spy game? That
that's exactly what it reminds me of. That one, because we played that with Spy Game.
Yeah.
On the channel.
And so, yeah, this thing launched April 14th of 2026.
Oh, before we finish that thing,
yes,
the people who made this game were members of Imagine Dragons.
It's the lead singer of Imagine Dragons and his brother, who is their manager.
Yeah.
They tweeted it out on their social media. And I know what you're thinking. Last Flag, I haven't heard of that before. Yeah, you would not be alone, because apparently so far it's topped out at about 600 concurrent players on Steam.
Yeah, and I think it's dropped immensely since then.
Yes,
and I remember us seeing a trailer for this a very long time ago, and then forgetting about its very existence until they came out.
What?
I think it's at like 50 players now or something like that.
It would not surprise me.
Something stupidly low, because I just saw the news story for this before I left.
Yeah,
and I couldn't help reading the comments, because every comment was, what the fuck, I've never heard of this. My favorite was, imagine a better game. But yeah, I feel real bad for this guy, because I remember I watched I think it was like an interview or something with him, and that was posted in one of the news stories. And he's so excited because he's like, I love capture the flag modes in games, and no one ever just made a capture the flag type game.
Yeah.
So I decided to make my dream game, and they were like, yeah, but you were the only one who wanted that, apparently.
Yeah. So they're saying they're not completely disheartened, that they want to try to have a sustainable community that grows over time, but that line does not indicate that's a line that's going down to zero, not a line that's going to stabilize and then go back up again. I mean, maybe it will. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. This is what we were talking about with High Guard, when High Guard was shown at the Game Awards, and we were talking about, like, well, maybe the Game Awards thing was a terrible thing to happen to High Guard.
Yep.
But this is actually the exact opposite situation. No one knew about Last Flag. So Last Flag has zero expectations other than Singer Man made video game type of thing. So this game actually would have benefited from that, what High Guard got, more than High Guard itself would have. Because High Guard had this prestige that would have gotten them a decent amount of players to start off with zero expectations, by the way. Where this would have benefited from more press before it came out. And I think it failing might help people go to where it is.
Might put it on people's radar to try.
Yeah, I'm hoping it causes people to be like, oh my god, the guy from Imagine Dragon made a game. I'm gonna see what the fuck that's about, type of thing. Like a YouTuber could just be like, Imagine Dragons game on their thing, and everybody's might pop up just to see what it means.
I don't know. I mean, I don't trust the guy in Imagine Dragons to make video games.
I don't either.
I trust video game developers to make video games.
Here's the thing, Jeff. I'm not saying it's going to be a good game, as it turns out. I'm saying that if you can get enough eyes on this, just on the fact that it was made by a musician, type of thing. I think he should have really added more press to that. I think is what is fundamentally the actual failings of that game.
Oh, right. Well, you know what? We got a marathon now. We got a lightning round. Ponkel, the Vampire Survivors developer, has 15 projects in development right now.
Oh.
All over
How many
the
of
place.
them have the word survivor in it?
A lot, I think.
Oh, that was a joke.
They at least have the Warhammer Survivors thing, and then they've got the vampire. The other one that just launched this week. Apparently, they're instead of creating larger arms, they're creating small 5 to 10 person teams, vampire crawlers, 5 to 10 person teams around. And not every one of these is a brand new game. A lot of them are also content for existing games. So
that makes sense. They get a lot of DLC because they get a lot of third parties to join them, and it doesn't take a lot of work to make them.
Yep. Let's see. Behavior Interactive, the Dead by Daylight developer, has laid off an undisclosed number of developers. When I read through this is coming from... This is a specific group that does outsourced work. I think in reading between the lines, what this is that there aren't any more crossovers, and they aren't getting new... hey, pay us for the Stranger Things crossover. And so the team that was doing all of that is now out. So.
Yeah, it sounds more like this. We've reached the final end of what this was capable of when it came to everything.
Yep.
We are now just kind of just keeping everything running, and maybe we'll come out with original stuff because, like you said, they probably ran out of horror people coming to them.
Yep.
In general, or even actors maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if later down the line, though, they get a new one from some random horror thing, and maybe they'll get those people back. But I doubt it at this point. Because that game's very old at this point. Because when did Dead by Daylight come out?
I'm not sure.
It's got to be another one of those like 10-year games type of thing.
It's been quite some time.
Yeah.
Iron Galaxy is also reducing their headcount, also laying off folks. It's interesting because they put out a statement saying that they've been trying to kind of survive, like since the big hiring rush of 2020. They are waiting for the game industry to go back to normal, and they are now like, it is never going back to normal. So we are cutting even more people to get to a point where it's like we're not anticipating the line's going to go back up. We're anticipating the line's going to be where it is right now, and so we have to live with that line instead of trying to wait for it to go back up.
And not only that, like the way games are going right now with all of the pricing and stuff for pieces, like for just accessories and stuff.
Yep.
It's not looking like it's going to go up anytime soon.
Oh, yes. Mind's Eye is back in the news, but for a different reason than you may think.
Was it the crazy person again?
It is the crazy person, but it's not the crazy guy saying a thing. It's that the workers are I think they're filing like a lawsuit, like a collective grievance against Build a Rocket Boy, because apparently they just stealth installed this incredibly invasive piece of monitoring software on every single employee's system without asking or telling,
with their knowledge.
And then when they found out, they made a collective complaint, and so the company uninstalled the software. But part of that complaint is, and what did you take off my computer when this incredibly invasive piece of software was there? And they didn't say. And they're like, no, you got to tell me what you fucking did when you had root access to my goddamn computer.
Yeah. Because that space doesn't just reappear for that to exist on there.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, they are. It's called TerraMind. I tried to look it up, and all I found was corporate bullshit. But
it sounds like a Marvel supervillain.
It really does.
TerraMind.
It's a terrible
versus
name.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Hideo Kojima, speaking of developers that we do like, went over to Valve and took a bunch of pictures.
Oh, that's fun.
Which it was kind of nice. The one, though, that I don't know what the fuck, but one of the pictures he took was him standing in front of the Valve logo, and below the Valve logo there are 3 gravity guns and 3 portal guns, and people are like, 3! Half-Life 3 confirmed!
That's fun.
So
I bet you they do that on purpose just to fuck with the people in general.
Also, Kojima Productions put out an infographic showing that during the Artemis 2 flight, that in Death Stranding 2, because it has PC release, Sam's walked 969,703 miles to the Artemis II's 700,237 miles. It is also worth noting this was not any driving, monorails, or anything else. This was the number of steps walked during the same time period.
So we should send Sam to the moon, is what you're saying.
That's right. He's going to walk to the moon.
The moon needed a delivery.
Shit. Oh, man. We don't have much time. Okay. God damn, this is an interesting story. Here it was. Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll finish with this one. A group of gamers is suing Nintendo over the Nintendo tariff situation.
Oh.
And their contention is that Nintendo raised the prices of games and accessories to compensate for the tariffs that were put on them by the United States government, because they've said that. They said that's why they were doing it. Now, Nintendo is attempting to recuperate those tariffs from the United States government because they were declared unlawful, and they had to give them back, and there's even a portal site, and they're fucking corporate, and they're going to do that. They say, okay, well, if you get that money back, you can't just keep it if you raised my costs in order to cover it. You can't just take this as a windfall if you passed those actual tariff costs along to the consumer, which is an interesting question. I don't think that they will win, but it's an interesting ethical question of, does the corporation have to give you a refund for the price increase that they did due to a thing that was eventually found to be unlawful?
Well, yeah, this has been going on for a while now. And I don't mean just with Nintendo. There's a lot of people who have been asking this question because when Costco, I think specifically, was the one who started this conversation, a lot of people were like, okay, well, does that mean I get my money back for the things that you increased? And Costco themselves were like, well, we didn't really do anything on our end. But a lot of other companies jumped on this immediately to be like, well, if you're getting a refund, I want a refund.
Yeah.
Type of thing. And then people were like, but I know that I paid you for the tariff to get my shit from you. So now there's a bunch of different companies that aren't saying anything.
Yep.
They're not telling them yes or no.
Yep.
And they're not even saying the words maybe either. They're just like, I'm just going to shut the fuck up. And so Nintendo is an easy target for this because they're one of the ones who did it for the tariff reason.
Yep.
Because when PlayStation and them started raising their prices, they weren't like, we're doing it because of the tariff. They're like, we're doing it because parts are more expensive.
Right.
That was literally like that's more what they were saying, and which, well, ironically enough, were also tariff related.
Yep.
But they made it vague enough that if this came up, no one would call them for it. Mm-hmm. But Nintendo looked us dead in the eye and went, this camera that you don't want, it's now way more expensive because of tariffs. And those people bought those things.
Yep.
So, like, they held
should
off on get something.
Switch 2 announcement for a long time because of all the tariffs ups and downs. We were supposed to hear about that way earlier. It got leaked a whole bunch of times. So, yeah, it's interesting. But then I don't know what would happen. Like, how do you it'd have to be like a class action lawsuit, right?
That's the only way.
You have to sign on to it before it starts, type of thing, and prove that, like, I bought this Nintendo Switch 2 and it wasn't just given to me. Like, I physically have a Nintendo Switch 2, but, like, how do I prove? I mean, I could prove it because I've got my bank account and my taxes and things, but, like, it's an interesting ethical question.
Well, it's a receipts thing. Yeah, you need to be able to prove your proof of purchase, what day you did it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of lawsuits that actually don't do it ahead of time. They do it afterwards. Like after they win, they're like, hey, by the way, there's a fund of like $100 million.
Yeah, first come, first serve.
If you come here, you might get $100, or if enough people get here, you'll get $5.
Yeah.
Type of thing. So we'll see how that plays out. I have a feeling that Nintendo has enough really strong lawyers that this might go either way. But it will set a precedent for other lawsuits if they come up.
I don't think that consumers are getting jack shit because consumer protections in this company are garbage and have been additionally gutted since the election of our new commander-in-chief. So,
that's the thing. I'm generally not expecting anything, but if somehow it happens, it does set a precedent for other attempts at this. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, man. I want to go back to my After Effects in 2024. All right, folks. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we've got a bunch of trailers, so stick around. And we're back. And that means it's time for trailers. Michael, you ready for the trailers?
Yeah.
Ready for the trailers? We got a lot of game trailers.
The trailer park
this week.
And everything.
We had a couple in here. There was some kind of conference, some kind of announcement thing, but it was a lot of indie stuff, and I just didn't have fucking time this week.
That makes sense.
And then apparently while we're recording this, Second Wind had a trailer event thing.
Really? Second Wind?
Isn't that, the Yahtzee channel?
The new version of...
Escapist?
Yeah, Escapist. There's a bunch of old Escapist people.
Yeah.
It's like, why would they have an event?
I don't know. I was getting stuff ready, and I was like, what? No, I can't watch you now. Fuck off.
That's very strange.
Anyway,
very strange place for that.
Let's start with the thing that I normally start with, which is some Fortnite. Fortnite has a weird one this time. This is Luffy. No, that's a different thing.
I think that's an ice giant from Thor.
Yeah. This is one of those pop music things, but they apparently have her there as well. I guess they've run out of I guess Fortnite has just straight up run out of cultural things to put in. So now they're just the entire music industry. Chapel Roan, Sabrina Carpenter.
Well, because they have a music pass now. And it was originally for the Guitar Hero type mode, but we know that's going away.
Yep. This one also has one of those big experience things where you get to fucking fall down and float around and listen to the music.
Which is fascinating for someone I've never heard of until the day.
I hadn't heard of him until last week, and then Amanda was like, hey, the guy from Heated Rivalry is in the music video for this person, and I was like, well, I don't really care about that, but then she played the song, and I was like, that was a pretty good song.
I'm happy that she's a good musician. I've just never heard of her.
Yep. That came out actually last week, so
yeah, it's been out for a bit because I have the Fortnite crew, and so it's like, you want to get Lafayette? I'm like, I have no fucking idea who you are.
Yeah. She just looks like a lady.
Yeah, she looks like a lady, some random lady, and I was just like, you love Lafayette? I'm like, I don't know who Lafayette is. Is she made up? Who is she?
Nope, she's a whole thing. Apparently, she's got several albums and music awards and all kinds of stuff. I don't listen to modern music, so I don't know.
It's also been a while since Fortnite made a skin for one of these musicians that is wearing regular clothing.
Yes.
Because so many of them are like chaperones, you want a Joan of Arc chaperone?
Yep.
Or just batshit insane chaperone. Just a lot of crazy shit for some of these characters.
I'm just waiting
artists.
I guess it's already a thing, but I'm waiting for a day when it's just people are trying to have battle royale, but the vast majority of them kill everybody else and then just have a dance party until the clock runs out.
One of these days it'll happen.
Yeah. Because I know when Sabrina Carpenter came out, there was just this thing where Sabrina Carpenters that found each other would just start dancing near each other, and they wouldn't shoot at each other or anything. And so you just get these mobs of Sabrina Carpenters. I was like,
that happened with some other characters as well. I think it was the K-pop Demon Hunter ones.
Oh,
there was some mobs of them doing that.
I could see it. How about Lana Del Rey? Do you know Lana Del Rey?
Vaguely.
Lana Del Rey,
she's a wrestler, right?
has done the official song and title, song that is part of the traditional James Bond title sequence.
They actually decided to do the whole title sequence?
Yeah, for James Bond 007 First Light. And it's a very just it's a lady doing a pop song. Apparently it was produced by one of the guys that did the You Know My Name was a co-writer on that one for the Casino Royale one.
Interesting.
Which is by far my favorite song. I listen to that song.
That song's really good.
Outside of even James Bond thing. But
there's a lot of great James Bond songs that are very popular, and not A View to Kill. Live and Let Die is another one that I just listen to randomly.
The World Is Not Enough for the Garbage song. That was a good one.
I like the GoldenEye one.
But then they put out the whole video, and it's a very just fucking James Bond-ass opening where you've got...
Which makes me happy, because that was the thing. I'm always worried when companies make a game based on something, and but they don't lean into what made those fun.
Yeah.
And the very fact they did that's really fun.
I'm really hoping that this turns out to be good.
Yes. I want this to be a good thing, not another fucking Moonraker or whatever.
Well, or Mind's Eye.
Mind's Eye.
I mean, IO doesn't seem
nobody's spying on James Bond, Jeff.
That's right.
Except for James Bond himself.
The only thing that was a little weird about this was that because it's a game, the whole thing was at 60 frames per second, and I was like, oh, that's a little bizarre for a title sequence.
Yeah, because you're used to these being movie frames per second type
24,
of thing.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's good. I recommend everybody go watch it. It was a pretty good song, and it's a pretty good a pretty good opening.
I'll have to listen to this later then.
Yeah. We also got a 4-minute long the rules of spycraft, kind of an overview trailer for First Light.
See, James, the first rule is to tell everyone your name. Just everyone.
Yeah. And
that you're a spy.
It seems like they very much are just dividing this up into like, well, there's the Hitman part, and then there's the Arkham Asylum part, and then there's the Rainbow Six part. Like,
okay.
That you've got the Hitman part to begin with, and then at a certain point you might get into some shenanigans and have to do some punching and slapping around.
Because this is a game that's not like, because unlike Hitman, it has set pieces, like full, like the way like an Uncharted game is type of thing.
Yeah, but it also has apparently Hitman level stuff,
which is good.
Like
I'm happy about that. Yeah.
And then apparently, if you get the license to kill comes up, then you're able to just start blasting.
Anyways, I just started licensing to kill.
There's kind of a whole like bluff system where if you have enough energy, you can basically bluff your way past people, which is great.
Oh, that's fun.
47 just kind of goes wherever the fuck he wants to. But it seems like what they've done is that they've put the enforcers from Hitman, and if you try to bluff past them, they're the ones that have any part of it.
Yeah, because they're very much like no nonsense type people.
Yep. And then apparently there's the whole like the home base at MI6, and you've got upgrades for your gadgets and training and different skins and outfits and stuff that you can equip. So I don't know, man. It looks great. It looks like they've added a lot of the stuff together. Hitman never had a hub outside of that weird house that you have in the roguelike mode.
The hub was just the menu of things you bought, basically.
Yeah. And then a lot more like, gadgets and different stuff that you can use to. It's very Watch Dogsy.
Yeah.
Of like looking at stuff, and you can use like little hacking tools. And so, yeah, I don't know. Also, I have to say that I watched this whole thing, and it's all very nice, crisp frame rate. We had a problem in the first trailer where they were in the plane and it chugged along a little bit. This looks pretty good. I don't know. I'm very excited for this. I'm trying not to get my hopes up too high, but everything I'm seeing is like, ever since they announced this, I've been like, yes, let the Hitman guys make a 007 game. I would love to play that.
Yeah, the second they're like, by the way, that we were making a 007 game, because all we heard was the name of it.
Yeah.
We knew jack shit about it, and then nothing for a good long while, and we were still like, well, this could be really cool, even without seeing it. And now seeing it, I'm like, yeah, this is going to be really cool, but will it all blend correctly?
I hope
That's really the hardest part. So
I hope so.
I'm
and also,
excited.
I like the fact that apparently there's a lot of like improvised weaponry stuff, and then apparently from this, it's got one of these like you pick up other people's guns and then use them until you run out. They run out of ammo, and then just chuck them at people and grab another gun.
So. What's cool is the way he's doing it, because on some of them, like he like runs up to it and like kicks it upwards, and then catches it with his arm and then like holds it.
Yep,
it's just really fucking cool.
It all looks cool. Even the melee section had like you're picking up stuff out of the environment and chucking it at people.
And they added some Deadeye to it too, basically.
Yeah, and there's a cocaine mode, a whole 9 yards. So yeah, it looks fan-fucking-tastic. I didn't like the last couple of James Bond movies, and none of the games have really worked for me because I didn't play GoldenEye when it came out, and I don't want to play it now.
No, I tried when they did that re-release, and you can't do it on the Switch. It's just the controls are 64 based.
Yeah,
but you can do it on the Xbox fine, and then you're like, oh yeah, that's right. This is an N64 game.
Right.
This is very difficult because of the very vagueness of what you're supposed to do.
And then IO's always been great at environments, and so all these environmental places look just fantastic.
And James Bond has had a lot of good games outside of GoldenEye. There was For Marshall with Love, which was the Sean Connery game they made, which was well received. As was the original, one of the few original James Bond games was that Pierce Brosnan one.
Nightfire?
Something like that. It had William Dafoe as the bad guy or something like that.
Yeah, I remember
people really like that one a lot.
Didn't care for it as much, but whatever. I mean, I'm more of an IOI fan than I am a James Bond fan, and I'm willing to play whatever the fuck they put out. So
that's fair, yeah. And it still looks really cool. So
yeah, looks great. Let's see. Threw this one in for you, Michael. Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight is getting Batmite.
Yeah, James Gunn actually shared this, which is how I found out about it.
Okay.
Because he's one of James Gunn's favorite characters, which is why he references him in fucking Peacemaker.
He's a shopkeeper, but also a skin apparently that you can get. So
that
both
makes sense. Yeah.
I don't know why any of these. It's like, here's a guitar, and it's like, I mean, part of these are outfits, but then part of it's like, I don't know why you need an electric guitar for the Batman game.
It's just more for just because Lego is always just dumb shit. So
you saw they're putting Ultimate or
the Absolute Batman,
Batman in there.
Yeah, I was saying, I don't know, telling somebody about it.
I tried to explain that to Bryce as best I could. I was like, look at these pictures of this absolute unit of a Batman.
I was saying that he should have had the Hulk Lego body.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
instead of just normal with some shoulder pads.
When I showed it to Bryce, he was like, "Yeah, but he's not that big. He's just a regular Lego guy." And I was like, "Yeah."
That is my issue with it. He shouldn't have been a regular Lego guy.
Yeah.
He should have been like Bane's Lego piece, basically.
Yep.
Because that's my only issue with it. But this is the first absolute representation for Batman, Absolute Batman, outside of comics.
We got Splatoon Raiders release date. They're still trying to make a single-player Splatoon game. This is Splatoon Raiders.
Interesting.
And I got to tell you, Michael, I was like, okay, well, previously the single-player modes have been like, oh, we added this free single-player mode into the multiplayer
and they had stories and
game.
Stuff, yeah.
And it wasn't very good, and I didn't like it.
And most people they treated it the way Call of Duty storylines are, basically.
Yeah, but a lot of it was just like, it's like target practice. It's like trying to hit targets and shit. Like,
well, that's what I mean. Like the way that the last Call of Duty thing was, it was the exact same thing. Where it's like, it might as well just be like a tutorial. Yeah, basically.
This one looks just as terrible to me. It looks fucking awful. Like when I saw the actual gameplay, it looks like some kind of half mutated version of Splatoon where you're fighting hordes of the weird fish enemies. Trying to collect stuff, and you've got some AI teammates on your side. Honestly, I think it's terrible. It's just because I've been trying to like any single-player Splatoon thing they've ever made, and I don't. And this just looks like a lot more of what they did before. They had a whole mode
just not designed for it.
That was that was like PvE, where it was like you and three people, and it looked a lot like this, same enemies and everything, and it just. The concept doesn't work as well when you're not doing the who can paint more thing.
Well, yeah, because it's like the reason there was so much paint for you to walk around and recharge and stuff was because you're trying to make sure there's as much paint on the ground as possible.
Yeah.
Whereas when you make your reload something that has to be on the ground, it's very weird to have to do over and over again. Especially because the game's probably not going to be like, well, you got to paint everything. It's like, well, why would I have to do that? Like, there's no reason for me to do that.
Yeah, they needed to think further outside the bun than they did here. This is just more of kind of the same, but I don't know. July 23rd is when it's coming out. I wonder if it's going to be, they couldn't possibly charge full price for
This is Nintendo we're talking about, Jeff.
I know, but this is barely
they have amiibos and everything.
This is barely a game.
Again, Jeff, this is Nintendo we're talking about. You remember how much the Link's Awakening game was when it first came out?
No.
And that game is short as fuck.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they would be making a bit of a mistake to not have it at some amount of discount. So we'll see.
I doubt it'll be like the $80 thing, of course. If they're smart, they'll keep it at most the $60.
I don't think it goes much above 40 personally, but that's just me.
No, I'm saying I'm being realistic about Nintendo.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know. Anyway, we got a crossover. This is the weirdest crossover I've ever heard. Dead Island 2 is crossing over with Quarantine Zone, which is that game where you have to decide whether people are infected with zombies and either quarantine them or send them to their death or whatever.
Oh, I see.
It was on Game Pass. And it's not even the main characters, I don't think, from Dead Island 2. It's like sub-characters from Dead Island 2. And I was like, this is the weirdest fucking crossover I've ever heard of. A game that is very niche, and then characters that are very niche from another niche game that are all niched up together in this thing.
It's just fucking fascinating what they've done with Dead Island 2 the longer it goes on.
I don't know if it's still out there, but people might look. I think there was a sale that I remember a headline that said that like all of Dead Island 1 and Dead Island 2 and all the DLC was like $7.
Yeah, I remember when that was happening. I almost did it, and I was like, I don't like Dead Island 1.
Yeah. I like Dead Island 2 a lot, though.
Dead Island 2 is really good.
Okay, speaking of inscrutable crossovers, Phasmophobia and Alan Wake 2?
I could see that one. Only because every time Alan types something, it becomes real, so that'd be funny.
Maybe, but I don't know. From my experience with Phasmophobia is a lot about looking at a meter that goes up or down. There's not a lot of like craziness, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just not far enough in on it. I also, I don't know. It's a limited time thing, and it's...
Oh, that's a shame. It should be a whole thing.
Got Alan Wake doing a voiceover, so... yeah, I mean, sure, I guess.
By Alan Wake.
May 12th.
It is funny that Alan Wake 2 is still getting stuff in other games way past the game coming out.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, here's a spooky thing that I do like. We got the launch trailer. I didn't even realize this was out, or I would have done a video on it, but for Captured 2. So Captured was that weird spot the anomaly liminal horror kind of meets Skinamarink game that Jason and I played, where you're kind of going through a weird house. And this one looks like it's got a lot more craziness, kind of better looking, more stuff, bigger house. And they still have the really goofy looking monsters, which I enjoy because they do look, I don't know. It's funny how it's easy to make a world that looks very creepy and strange and uninhabited, and then you get these monsters that show up and they kind of look like googly eyes pasted onto a cookie monster or something. It's like, okay.
I think it adds to just the insanity of everything that's happening.
Yeah,
because I've always just really like the weird anomaly games for some reason. There's just something fascinating about them all.
I don't know. I guess they're kind of terrifying when it's dark, but they also all have kind of, I don't know, they kind of got the bug eyes. And some of them look like FNAF characters. So.
Well, some of them are like clearly like, old toy things that are come to life, but in weird fucked up ways.
Yeah.
But some of them do look really funny.
But yeah, that's out right now. I'm sure that it doesn't cost that much, so go check it out. Let's see. We got another kind of semi-creepy. This is a weird one. A game called Ravage. I'd never heard of this before until I took a look at this. Apparently, this is a game where you are on a space station and you are trying to figure out what happened to everybody that you knew that was on the space station with you.
Oh.
So you're kind of walking around and you're looking through people's quarters, kind of like a walking sim / What Remains of Edith Finch type of thing. You're interacting with the environment. But then at the very end, they were like, and it's a time loop. So at the end of every day, you just start over again. So it's also kind of trying to do it could be trying to do the Outer Wilds thing, where you're using the knowledge that you have of the previous loop to try to get further forward.
I know you're trying to figure out if it was Worlds or Wilds in your brain there.
Well, first I had to remember the name, and then I had to figure out which one it was. Yeah,
takes a bit. It takes a bit to remember.
And there's like weird like anomalies and puzzles, and I like the dang look of it. It's very sharp,
looks very
clean.
interesting. Yeah, and the environments are very nice looking.
Yeah. Let's see. Speaking of space stuff, we got the beta launch trailer for The Expanse Osiris Reborn. I didn't know this was happening, but apparently this is like the Owlcat. They did a thing where if you buy the $80 version, you can play it right now.
Oh.
It's like one level. It's not a multiplayer thing. It's just like the single player. You can choose between 4 different loadouts and play through like one mission of the game with a little bit of talking, a little bit of shooting.
Interesting.
I'm just not willing to pay $80 to do that.
Don't care about The Expanse enough to care about that sort of thing.
Yeah. It also looks an awful lot like when they show the actual shooting. I don't know. A lot of it looks like Mass Effect. It's very just like cover. In fact, they emphasize that there's a lot of like, it's very cover based. You're using a lot of abilities and squad commands and stuff to try to knock people out of cover in order to get them out to shoot.
Oh, okay.
And then there's a chunk of it that also looks like it's in space. There's also definitely some like dialogue trees, kind of making decisions about what's going to happen where type of thing. The actual action looks a little bit less interesting than I thought.
Yeah, that is the only downside to it. Yeah. But it looks like it'll be a fine game.
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't look terrible.
No, not at all. I guess it just depends on how much Owlcat puts into smoothing it out and oomping it up a little bit. I mean, part of the reason they're doing this is to get player feedback and data about how people play the game in order to make it better. So,
okay. That's fun. Yeah, it does have a very Mass Effect look to it, the same way that one other game does. Except this looks a little more like a realistic look because of the way the expanse is.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, not much more than that. I tried again. I was hoping that there was like here's a less than full price founders pack that you could buy to get early access. They were like, no, bitch, you're gonna pay the most.
Yeah,
you're gonna pay the most in order to get early access.
Got to beta test this for us, guys.
Okay, sure,
for $80.
Yep, but it looks pretty good though. At least got the bones.
It could be a good time.
Yep. Let's see. Speaking of space combat, we got a new war bond for Helldivers 2, the Exo Experts war bond.
Okay,
which is a few new skins, a couple of new. One of the weapons that they have in here is a pistol that shoots a missile. It's like a rocket. It's like a single shot. You like just shove a rocket into the back of a big tube.
Oh, that's fun.
That's your pistol. They got
like
some
stronger grenades.
Yeah,
it looks like.
And then they've got 3 new mechs. 3 new mechs that you can do. A lumber one that's got a giant shield, and then there's one other one that I kind of forgot what it does. But I didn't play after they put mechs in, so I'm not sure how much of a thing the mechs are for playing. Yeah,
they're like they're higher level things that you can call in. Same with the other vehicles and stuff. So there's a lot like they're not as useful as they could be because at the time I don't know how much stronger they are now. Missile pistol. Yeah, I don't know how much stronger they are now, but at the time they were like much easier to kill than they should have been. But I don't know if they've since updated that.
I guess there's only 2 mechs. I guess there's only the 2.
Okay, so one's like a flamethrower and like a heavy gun attachment,
and the other one's a big ass shield. Yeah, it's nice to see that Helldivers 2 is still rocking along. Kind of got me interested in almost going back and playing it because it's been so long since I played it that it's like it's probably really different now than it was when I played at launch.
It's majorly different from what I've heard, and I every now and then I come back to check in on it, but I don't really play it because what it is that you have a max amount of the like metal things you use to pay for these passes, and it goes up to 250. So every now and then I go in and then use them to unlock something and then get out. Okay. Just so I can keep it from always hitting its limit.
Fair enough.
That's how I ended up doing all of the Halo pass without playing the game at all. I just kept coming in and using the Warbond stuff. Okay. It was really funny.
See, we also got a really brief overview of Directive 8020, the supermassive The Thing on a space station game.
Oh, yeah.
Which it looks like it has a little bit more to it than some of the other ones. Like it looks like there's actually
like actual gameplay, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they've got the quick time events, they've got the dialogue, but it also looks like there's like some stealth stuff where you're trying to get away from the weird dudes coming after you. They've got a 4-player kind of party mode where people, I guess, get to rotate the choices that you make, and then definitely a system for just going back to specific flashpoints where you go into different branches of the story. I'm really hoping that after all the time they've put into this, that this one is good.
Yeah, this is the most work they've ever put in any of these. Yeah. And I don't mean that as a bad thing necessarily. I mean that as a great thing because there's so much... Because so many of the other games are just like, well, some of this was hallucination or whatever.
Right.
It's like, no, this is everything here seems to be happening, and it's all really fucking cool to look at.
Yeah.
And really, like... insane, like really good acting as well that seems to be happening within it. So it's the most excited I've ever been for one of their games in a very long time.
Yeah, they were cranking out those Dark Pictures anthologies, and I think that it didn't work. They also did that. Remember that cop game they made?
Oh, the fuck was that called?
It's like a one-off. Just here's a fucking thing.
It was very strange that they did that.
They were cranking out a lot of stuff, and I think it finally brought down the quality a bit.
Because half of them were just like, and then and I'm like, none of that made sense.
Yeah. Well, you do that twice in a row, and then it's like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. No, we promise it's real this time. I'm like, I don't fucking believe you. I don't fucking believe you.
It's like, at least with this, like, it's like if the Sixth Sense twist was like, no, Bruce Willis was alive the whole time.
Right.
I'm like, no, fuck you.
That's not.
And the kid is crazy. It's like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
I would have been upset if that was the case.
Let's see. Speaking of stuff that I think weird shit that comes from outer space, we got the gameplay for Ingrid for Street Fighter. Fighter.
I actually didn't get to watch this. Actually, I meant to, and I forgot to.
Do you know who the fuck this character is?
I swear she was originally like a character from another one of the games.
It's so different.
I don't think it's that character anymore.
Yeah. She's very weird and very different, and not at all what I expect as a Street Fighter character.
Ingrid,
because she's like a K-pop diva that's thousands of years old and comes from space.
It seems to be the case,
and is fighting Ryu, just like in the streets, just fighting on the streets the way you do.
Well, what does the description say in the video there?
Let's see. Ingrid, the international woman of mystery, will bring her sunlight to Street Fighter 6 on May 28th.
Oh, my goodness.
Don't stare directly at her, or she'll blind you with her projectiles before teleporting right in your face. She does have a thing when you watch this where it looks like her projectiles can block other people's, but she can also switch places with them in order to get a lot closer, which is an interesting... Like, I was looking at this and I was like, did they make characters for Street Fighter that are so fucking weird that, like... she's like the Voldo of Street Fighter. Like, I can't tell what the fuck she's doing half the time.
That's the thing about a lot of these fighting game characters is there's somebody who's looking at this character just rubbing their hands going, I can think of a lot of dumb shit. See, that's her outfit from original Street Fighter.
Is it?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, because that's the way I remember Ingrid looking. Sorry, it cut to her classic look, which is why I don't understand what's going on anymore. Because I swear this wasn't what her fucking motif was back in the day.
Yep.
So I don't know what the fuck's happening.
Some kind of outer space K-pop fairy thing.
Yeah. Because before she just looked like this fucking squirrel girl lady.
Yep.
Or rich lady type of thing. I don't know. Like if you watch the trailer, yeah, that other outfit is her original outfit. Because I Googled her just to be sure that I wasn't going crazy, and that was what she was wearing at it.
Okay.
And I am going crazy, apparently, because Street Fighter 6 is just going, who the fuck knows?
Because she didn't have any of this bullshit extra-dimensional
Not that I recall, but it's been a long time since I've really looked at her character, so I don't even know anymore.
All right.
So, but she looks great. Question mark? No, she just looks like an interesting, fun time with all the weird shit that she can do.
She looks crazy pants.
There's
USA.
so much happening with her stuff that like there's some counters. There's a lot of different things. Her ending thing is also just really funny.
Yep. Hard to say what in the actual jack shit.
I don't know what's been going on with Ingrid since the last time we've seen her in Street Fighter.
Yep. But
there's like a tiny version of
May 28th
person that popped up for a second there.
Is that what I said? May 28th. May 28th.
Yeah.
Speaking of DLC, this was part of that showcase. There's another Atomic Heart DLC. I was a little bit let down because this one doesn't look nearly as... Maybe I've just become inured to the craziness of Atomic Heart, but I looked at this and I was like, I don't know, this is kind of fucking regular.
Was this the... that one cube one, or is this like just for the game itself?
This is from the single player game itself. This is the last DLC for that. Apparently it's the last DLC and it actually finishes the story.
Oh.
And I'm like, the story wasn't finished? I don't know. I didn't fucking play it, so...
No, I tried, because you remember we were like, well, maybe we're just, being bad because we're, being jokey or whatever.
Yeah.
And I played it. I'm like, oh, this is better than I thought it was, until we got to the outside area.
Yeah.
The taking it outside, you're just fucked. It's like, I don't understand why this game... I just don't get it. It just didn't work for me.
I don't know. I mean, they've done a lot of updates and shit to it, so maybe it plays better, but... I
generally don't care about it. I'm super pissed that I don't care about Atomic Heart, because I wanted to care about Atomic Heart real badly.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work for me.
Yep. Anyway, I don't know. That's the last DLC. So if you're waiting for that,
I didn't know they're still making stuff for it.
Yeah, and they've been putting out. I stopped putting them on the list because the trailers ended up like this, where it's just very generic looking. Like
a lot of just insane shit. That
it doesn't even look as interesting as the launch trailer for the game did. It just looks very brown and gray and shoot people with a machine gun. I'm like, okay, sure.
Maybe one of these days I'll give it another shot, but I doubt it.
We got a gameplay trailer for Ruiner 2. So, very much not the Ascent. This was interesting, though. It showed a few different new things here. This is very Diablo style game where you can play it with up to three people, and apparently you could swap between kind of character classes on the fly. So each class will have different levels and equipment and stuff, and so you can switch between like a range character and a melee character, and there's a lot of setup to do that kind of stuff. So it looks like they're very much, iterating on what made Ruiner good in the first place. The thing I keep going is like, does anybody remember this besides me? I remember this game, but like
I
just
vaguely
barely
remembered it. Yeah, only because you brought it up again. I'm like, oh yeah, that game existed.
Yeah. So
it still looks. It looks like it'll be a fun time, but a lot of these games that are like this top-down twin stick shooter action eventually start blending in together in my brain. So.
I mean, Cyberpunk Diablo is what we've got here. And if you're into that and you want to play it multiplayer, apparently that's what you're able to do in this particular one.
That's fun, I guess.
So, yeah, if you're into it, check it out. Speaking of weird shit that you don't hear unless I'm talking to you about it, Michael, we got a trailer for Hunt Down Overtime.
Oh.
Do you remember Hunt Down?
I do remember Hunt Down. I didn't know they were going to make more of it.
So I watched this and I was like, oh, is this like DLC for Hunt Down? The answer is no. This is a whole other, I guess, sequel to the original Hunt Down.
It's like a spin-off or something.
Where you're playing as a very specific character instead of one of three, I think, in the original one. Yeah. And it's like a bounty hunter that just got out of jail and is trying to go straight, but keeps having to do bounty missions. And I mean, it looks very much like that original Hunt Down game. I'm just like, here it is.
Which was a fun time.
Yeah.
So this could still be a fun time, yeah.
They're also going into early access, which I don't entirely understand.
That is a weird thing to do for a game like this.
I mean, like, you already made a whole-ass game. I don't think you need to refine the mechanics. I mean, I guess you could maybe say you're making it, and it's going to have the first act, and then we'll put out Act 2 and Act 3, and then we'll put out 1.0.
That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
But whatever it is, I don't know. I'm glad to see Hunt Down. It was interesting, though. I thought the original one of these was published by Devolver, and this one seems like it's published by Coffee Stain.
Yeah, I was about to say, because that's why we remember it last time.
Yeah. So
that's weird.
I don't know.
I wonder what happened with that.
But, yeah, May 7th, going into early access. Let's see. We also got the launch trailer for Ground Zero. If everything goes according to plan, you'll probably be seeing a video from Tessa and I playing this game the same day that this podcast goes up. This is Resident Evil at home.
Oh, that's right.
It's a fixed camera angle, third-person horror action game in South Korea with a South Korean protagonist that's dressed in an absolutely ridiculous fucking outfit. Yeah. She's got on pants, but there's a thong over the pants, I guess.
Yeah, that's an interesting look. And she's got a beret on.
Yep.
And just the colors alone, she looks like a jockey at the same time.
It made me curious because I was like, the voice acting is not the greatest, but is that charmingly accurate for Resident Evil?
Oh,
100%.
The Jill sandwich, the line alone means that's comically accurate.
The other thing is it was hard as shit. Like, I got to the point where I was just out of bullets and healing items, and there was still a lot of shit left to, like, it's challenging. It's a challenging game.
It really wants to be old school with it.
It's also like $15 on Steam. So
really? Okay.
If you're at all interested in this sort of thing, go check it out. Or watch the video that we made and then check it out. Speaking of retro throwbacks, Spy Drops. Remember this one? This is the basically metal MGS. We made our own MGS with a waifu. Is coming to consoles, as well as it's got some updates that are coming out.
That's fun.
It's like speed run. There's like a 2-player mode. It's like an adversarial thing where one person's hunting the other person. As well as a few other things. There's some new visual filters and stuff. This has a very mixed score on Steam because it's already out on Steam. Yeah. It looks okay.
Because it looks like it's trying to do a lot of the Metal Gear Solid stuff, but at the same time, it's trying to do its own thing. This is one of those games that's like you probably didn't do exactly what you wanted to.
Yeah,
type of thing.
The animations are very
choppy.
Yeah, they're just not quite the best. I think you probably have a better time playing. What was that Metal Gear? Unmetal?
Unmetal, yeah. Unmetal is actually really fun. The problem with Unmetal is that it asks you to make choices that affect the way the game happens. Because there's one, I got stuck on one part. I had to basically restart because there's this dog, and you have a choice with that. It either smells you or it hears you, and depending on what you do depends on what the dog does to catch you.
Okay.
Which is what makes it tricky. And there's some joke ones too that accidentally affect some stuff, because there's an achievement at one point to get from one end to another end.
Okay.
And when you walk in, he's like, well, what would you find in the room? And then if you say, I found a room full of sheep, it changes the room into a room full of sheep.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And so you walk slowly through it.
Yeah.
And so you can't do that like achievement of like running from one end to the other in a specific amount of time, because you're fucking stuck walking through slow sheep. And you can't just like be like, oh no, I actually meant this. No, you're stuck with the sheep. That's just what it comes down to.
Yep.
So it's kind of funny.
Let's see. Another one from that that weird conference, Wall World Strategy. So, Michael, I don't expect that you have ever heard of Wall World before.
No.
Wall World is a very weird game where you play in a crawler that is like kind of going up the side of like a giant wall, and you'll stop at various points and then drill into the wall in a 2D mining section to mine resources to build like guns and shields and stuff for the outside. This is a base building strategy game that has nothing to do with that concept.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's more about you've got the giant wall. You're building a base horizontally on a sheer wall face that is just like, yeah, up and down, and then you get attacks by the like little alien bugs, and you've got to defend against them, and you've got to develop stuff, and it's a strange take on a weird franchise. There are two of the originals of these.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
I was expecting you to be like, well, Wall World's a place where you can buy different types of drywall.
Right. But yeah, they announced that at that Galaxy Spring Showcase.
That's fucking wild.
We also got this is Hellforged, which seems an awful lot like a kind of can't tell if it's Vampire Survivors, Diablo, or both. It's definitely a medieval pixel swarm killing swarms from a top-down angle.
Yeah, but it's much more detailed than a lot of those other ones are.
Yes. It seems like it's maybe a Vampire Survivors, but that it might have some other stuff going for it. I sometimes
it looks like you control more of what's going on.
Yeah,
compared to the other ones.
It also looks like it might have some extraction elements to it, where you're trying to get resources and then get out and then use that to upgrade to go back in type of thing. So
interesting.
There's also a loot system a la Diablo, apparently. So I don't know. I also can't just tell whether this is just an ARPG and I'm calling it a survivor style game just because of the density of enemies that are on the screen.
Well, it's clear that's what they want to do, because there's certain attacks he's doing that does the big spread, the way Vampire Survivors does, to try to keep the large mobs off of you. So I feel like it's probably like a fusion of the two. Yeah. Because it's clear that he's not always attacking is the other thing. Because with Vampire Survivor, they're always doing their attack here and there, where this is actually like you running around, actually doing the Diablo style fighting while you have Vampire Survivor type power-ups at the same time.
Ball Pit is getting another update. This is already on the schedule. 2 new characters and a bunch of new balls. So if you're into Ball Pit,
weren't you addicted to this game at one point?
Oh, I love Ball Pit. I got to a certain point, and I was just like, and I'm done, because I cannot put any more time into Ball Pit. Because Ball Pit, once you beat it, is like, okay, we've unlocked every level in New Game Plus. Good luck. And I was like, no, I can't keep doing this. So. But yeah, 2 new characters, a bunch of new stuff that's coming to April 27th. So probably
the Shadow update.
A little after you hear this. Kiln got their launch trailer, as I mentioned before. This was very, very weird, and I know that it's not going to come through for you, Michael, but the music that they're playing in this Kiln launch trailer is the song Satisfaction by Benny Benassi. And so... Do you know what song that is?
I do know what song that is.
Do you know what the video for that song is?
I don't actually.
Okay, the video for that song is almost pornographic, where it's a bunch of women in really tight short shorts with like power tools, using power tools, and they're making like it ends with a woman
I'm looking this up now.
using like a jackhammer, and so it's like making her bounce up and down. And I was like, well, that's a choice, Tim Schafer. Like, I mean,
he clearly did it on purpose.
It's a catchy song, but I don't know if I would have put it to the little crockery multiplayer game. So,
you're not kidding.
oh yeah, no, it's one of those. There's like 5 of them, and I know all of them, of like kind of techno songs from the early or late 90s, early 2000s that have incredibly sexual music videos.
Yep. There's quite a few of those.
Anyway, Kiln's out, and you can play it on Game Pass today. Or you could pay money for it, I guess, if you wanted to. Oh boy, we're low on time. Michael, remember Yerba Buena?
Yeah, that crazy fucking game that looked really cool.
Yeah. They put out a little 2-minute gameplay overview that explained what the fuck is happening in the game. What is happening is that the gun that you have can copy the properties of one thing and paste them onto another. So, like, if you wanted to jump really high, you could copy something rubber and then make a car rubber and then use it to jump up to a higher place. Or you could copy like a rotating sign and then make that building rotate like the rotating sign does. And that's a lot of what we were seeing as far as the crazy insanity of the game.
That's really fun.
So they have like a little thing where they show like a sign that goes up and down and putting that on a fire escape so that it goes up and down. So but yeah, it looks really interesting. I didn't know when we saw this what the fuck was happening.
Oh yeah, it's all bananas. Like she shoots at something and then crazy fucking shit happens, and none of it makes any sense to us because we didn't know what was happening.
Yeah,
because the gun just seems to do everything.
Where you copy air and then you shoot it at something and it becomes air, and so you can walk through it or go around it. And apparently you can just reset anything back to square one, so you don't have to worry about fucking everything up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really interested in this game. I think it looks really cool. Because apparently it's inside of a video game. Like the main character is an NPC in a video game that accidentally gets kind of like a dev tool during a scripted sequence, and now they're like they know they're in a game or something.
Oh,
so
that makes sense. Like she's like normally it would be like whatever her dad getting kidnapped or whatever was probably going to be like a side quest of an actual game,
right?
And then she just happens to be like, well, now I'm going to be the fucking person now.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun.
May 26th when it's coming out. And then last but not least, speaking of fun little things, I don't know if you saw this trailer.
Like Free Guy.
Primal Repairs.
Oh my goodness.
This is what if you were a handyman in the Flintstones.
That's awesome.
So like they start by showing the character having to change the rock tires on the Dino-mobile, and they've got like a little raptor assistant, so they're taking the one off, they're putting the other one on. And so yeah, apparently they legally distinct Flintstones where they've got all the animals that do all the different things, but then you're like a handyman that goes around and you can do like they showed another part of it that I watched where you go to somebody's house and you're digging up bones and mowing the lawn in order to build like patio furniture out of bones and leather and stuff like that.
Oh, and you have to like quote unquote fix your machines.
Yeah,
to whenever something happens to
the animals that you're doing. So yeah,
it's fucking awesome.
It's just the Simpsons meets House Flipper / Power Wash Simulator / one of those chores type games. So
Flintstones. This is such a smart idea.
Yeah,
and it reminds me of a gag I saw where it was like Fred with like his fucked up car, and the guy just goes, "Why didn't you just walk? You were already doing that."
Right. So yeah, it's amazing. Go check it out, and it's also just legally distinct enough that they're not going to get sued.
Yeah. Plus, I think the Flintstones is probably old enough that they definitely could get away with it at this point. That's fucking incredible.
Ooh. All right, Turbo Lightning Round. Game Pass got the end of April. We've got Vampire Survivors, as well as a few other things. Kiln, Aphelion, which is the Don't Nod space adventure thing.
Okay.
Sledding game comes out April 30th. And then May 5th, we're getting Final Fantasy V. They're getting all the Final Fantasy Pixel remakes one month at a time, as well as a few other things. So, yeah, check them out. I hear Vampire Crawlers is rad. I'm saving my time with it until I can do a video for it.
Nice.
Forza Horizon is putting out a new, absolutely incredible custom Xbox controller.
Oh my goodness!
Looks like it's directly out of a Lisa Frank Trapper Keeper.
Yeah, it's like a '90s fucking as fuck, like one of those windbreakers you used to see in the '90s all the time.
Yep, some pink triangles, some neon green, some blue. It's pretty amazing.
That's hard to look at.
Yeah, the only problem is it's $90, but it's still pretty cool. Later. Next week, we're getting some more details about Blood of the Dawnwalker, April 28th. I mean Blood of the Dawnwalker, because I'm legally required to say that. This is that weird vampire game from the ex-Witcher guys.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Where you're like a blade, basically.
Yep. Definitely want to see more. There's a big Echo the Dolphin remaster collection, but one of the new things we learned about it is that it's going to have a, quote, an original section, which is a, quote, journey into the modern era, weaving the history of the franchise together into a single unified experience.
Sure, I guess.
So some new content.
Echo the Dolphin's such a wild fucking series.
It's going to have all the versions from the Sega CD, the Game Gear, and the Master System, but it's not going to have the Dreamcast one.
No, that's interesting.
Or Echo, and no question about whether Echo Junior will be featured. I didn't even know there was an Echo Junior.
I didn't know that either.
My favorite crime game of all time, Samson, is coming to consoles this fall.
I was going to ask you about Samson.
Yeah, it was terrible. I hated it. It's bold of them to put it on consoles around the time that Grand Theft Auto comes out.
Samson's going to do it, Jeff.
Samson's the one that's going to do it.
David versus Goliath.
Well, it's fucked up because I played it, I didn't like it, but apparently they've got a whole roadmap where they're going to fix everything in the game and make it better. And I'm like, well, then why the fuck did you even put it out, Samson?
It's such a stupid. That's so fucking funny.
Yep. Let's see. They're doing a remake of This War of Mine.
I haven't thought about that in forever.
Yep. Apparently 11-bit is doing like both a Frostpunk prequel and a remake of This War of Mine with some modern stuff put into it.
That's pretty cool, though. That was
People really like that game.
A very popular game at the time.
I was like, I do not want to be that miserable. Thank you.
That is what the thing about it. It was like fucking Grave of the Fireflies or whatever.
Yeah. Let's
it's
see.
Fucking wild.
Michael, do you know what Buck Bumble is?
I sadly do.
Okay. Argonaut Games is putting out a new Buck Bumble game.
Oh, my goodness.
It's on 420. Some kind of robot bee on the N64 game.
Yeah, he's like an old Rare character, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the cover for it for years, and I just completely forgot about him.
So yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's coming later this year.
Fucking hell.
There was a Ubisoft game.
Actually, it might not have been Rare. I don't know. It reminded me of Rare, I guess. I don't know.
Bad news. There was a Ubisoft game called Altera that was supposed to be a kind of a Minecraft meet Stardew Valley game that they were working on.
Oh, okay.
Canceled.
Oh.
Which sucks because, like we were talking about with this is bringing it all back around to Black Flag, like I would be more interested in an original thing that you made, Ubisoft, than just like more remakes, remasters, and crap that I've already played.
Well, this is always the problem with Ubisoft is they're just like, original idea? Pff, no.
Yeah.
Are you stupid?
All right, then let's wrap it up with a couple fun things. First, there is a new thing called Grand Theft Auto Carcer City. This is a mod for Grand Theft Auto that creates a whole city called Carcer City. Carcer City, you probably don't know because I didn't know, is the setting of Manhunt.
Hey, I didn't know that. I didn't know the name of the setting for Manhunt for years.
Yeah. So apparently this is a mod where they've made like characters and dialogue and missions and things to do that are all supposedly set in the Manhunt universe, along with actual places from Manhunt.
That's wild.
I don't know Manhunt well enough to be able to say for sure.
I don't either. I always remembered it for its controversial existence.
Yeah.
But overall, I was like, I'm sure it was a fun time for people.
It's a hell of an idea, though. I'm gonna make a Grand Theft Auto Manhunt game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it looks just an awful lot like San Andreas, but
that's probably what they built it off of. Yeah.
Yeah. More fun though. I don't know if you saw. Did you see these videos about Grand Theft Auto 5?
No.
Have you seen these? This shit is the funniest fucking shit of all time. Now, full disclosure, mods were involved here.
Yeah.
So
I'm
a
sure.
character walks up to a car and he throws a snowball at it, and this old lady gets out and she pulls out a baseball bat and she runs up after him, and he stands behind a cop and he kind of gets the old lady to hit the cop. At which point, Michael, all hell breaks loose.
Oh my god!
All of the NPCs in the game start murdering each other and like shooting each other, and the cops are shooting each other. People are shooting flare guns at each other. Cars are crashing, exploding into flames. Everything is fucking on fire. There's just a multi-car pileup. Everybody's got a machine gun or a baseball bat, and they're all just running around, slamming the shit out of each other. And this guy has made this video. I could watch this shit for hours.
Holy fuck! The
firefighters show up. It's like everybody's infected with the fucking rage virus from the 28 days later. Cars are exploding.
Oh my god!
And then there's one point, I don't know if we'll get to it in this first one, because there's like 4 or 5 of these where there's just everything's on fire. There's bodies all over the street, and the guy turns around and a fucking airplane crashes into this entire intersection where
oh my goodness. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, it's like
it's upside down.
It's upside down. It just fucking crashes directly into the intersection.
Holy shit.
So I don't know what kind of mods were involved here, because most Grand Theft Auto characters will not all immediately try to fight and kill each other.
Oh no, the firefighters definitely wouldn't immediately try to kill each other or kill everybody. Because the first mod that's obvious is that everyone has a weapon.
Right.
Like there's no NPCs don't carry axes and shit like that.
And their aggro is all turned up to like 11.
Yeah,
it's all turned all the way up.
Their aggro is definitely like activates after a certain point.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is cars are exploding surprisingly easily.
Yeah.
So
it's like everybody is just stopping to engage in this knockdown, drag out, explode brawl in the middle of the street.
That's really fun.
And this video goes on for 5 minutes.
Oh my goodness!
By God, one of several. So this one is a link to a TikTok.
Oh my god, 2 of them killed each other by hitting each other with axes.
Yep. Called NPCs took this way too seriously. There's a Polygon article called GTA fans are starting riots in the silliest way possible that has a bunch of these on it.
Oh my goodness.
They're even better with sound.
Oh, okay.
Because he puts in a bunch of sound effects and like more meaty crunches and thuds and stuff like that. So, but
Holy
they're
shit.
hilarious. I started watching one of these and I was like laughing for just the entire 5 minutes because new shit kept happening.
I'm fucking this is fucking hilarious.
This is what I think I can go to the end where it finishes, where things are just going, and then at the very end, like another plane that somehow doesn't have any wings just falls out of the sky directly into this intersection, and that's how this particular video ends,
man.
which is pretty amazing. Let's see if I can just jump forward a little bit to the end of this. Yeah, this should be the very end. Yeah, it doesn't even like crash. It clips a building and then like Tokyo drifts directly into the people.
That was incredible. I love that you see the shadow of the plane before you see the plane.
Yeah,
that's fucking hilarious.
And last but not least, I watched all 20 minutes of this. I think everybody else should too. Did you know that in 1974, Nintendo made Wild Gunman as an arcade cabinet?
Yeah, isn't that the one that shows up in Back to the Future too?
No, that's the NES version that came out in like 1987. This is like 1974.
Oh, so this is the original one.
This was a light gun. This was a light gun cabinet that had film in a camera.
Really?
And it had a thing where filmed cowboys would come out, and then you had the controller was a literal belt with a gun in it, and you had to quick draw, and if you shot them, then you would win, and if you didn't, then you would lose. So their eyes would flash, and you would have a very limited amount of time to pull your gun and then shoot. This has been lost media for a long time.
Yeah.
But this YouTuber, 74XX Arcade Repair, was trawling these forums, and he found the film.
The film itself.
Somebody was auctioning off a bunch of the films. There were 4 different ones. This thing apparently sold 100 copies altogether in like 1974.
That's wild.
It was very expensive. Again, it had 2 actual projector cameras inside of it.
That's not an easy thing to get your money back off of, basically.
Yeah. And so he goes through the whole process of checking this out and trying to figure out how the game works and finding the tapes and watching the tapes and digitizing the tapes. And then at the end, he literally creates an entire cabinet.
So he just makes tries to make it as close as he can.
Yes, based on like the catalog pictures from an arcade catalog from the 1970s.
That's fucking wild.
What this thing is supposed to look like. And it's amazing. I recommend everybody go watch it. It's 20 minutes long. It was fucking fantastically interesting from start to finish. Yeah, it was great.
That's really fucking cool. I had no idea that the original Wild Gunman was like that.
Me neither.
That's fucking
It's
crazy.
literally like live action. It's literally live action of cowboys like coming down the street and trying to shoot you. So
that's just one of the most interesting things I've ever heard.
Yep. Well worth a watch. So, yeah, go check it out. 74XX. It's called Wild Gunman, resurrecting Nintendo's first coin-op on its 50th anniversary.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That's something that needs a weird-ass fucking revival. That's fucking awesome.
And with that, we're done. Michael, where can the people find you when you're not over here watching a bunch of ridiculous news with me on the show?
You can find me on oneofus.net. We do a lot of movie and television reviews. You can also find me on YouTube under Supermaniacs. It's a Superman podcast I do sometimes. Yep. I like how it shows that how much Wild Gunman was like.
There were a lot of
was popular.
There were a
outside
lot of that. Yeah. It was that weird little stand-up toy.
Yeah.
is a funky one. He put together a bunch of memorabilia to go to a trade show, and he was like, "So I made a 1/100th scale of the thing. What? Did you think I was going to make the whole thing? Well, I also did that too."
Yeah. And that must be a pain in the ass to move around.
Yep.
Because fucking hell, you have to have a projection thing and everything. Mm-hmm. It's fucking crazy.
Patreon.com/RageSelect is where you go if you want to help us out. Podcast does take time to put together every week, so if you got a few bucks to spare, $5 a month is all it takes to help keep the lights on over here. If you made it all the way to the end, chances are you're already signed up, but if you're not, now is a great time. Michael and I are playing all the way through Resident Evil Requiem, and we're having a great time, outside of the fact that game keeps screwing me every chance it gets. The end of this last one was just about as bad as the end of the last one, so we'll see how...
That's pretty great.
We'll see how it goes, yeah. Revel in my pain. Revel in my pain. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to try to go back in time and find a version of Adobe Premiere that works. Wish me luck.